Good morning, everyone. I feel highly motivated today. Well rested, feeling better one day at a time. That's all we can do, right? One day at a time. Good morning, O'Sullivan. How are you? I sent you a message. Um, Supposed to be a couple people joining today, so if you want to come up and be a part of this broadcast, um, let me copy the link. Um, I don't know how to get that from StreamYard. You know what I mean? I don't know how to. Can you just share this one, or I can go to your StreamYard? I don't know how to do it from StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard right now. It's tough to. I can't get on the Facebook. I don't know how to get the link. You know what I mean? From here. Good morning. Good morning. Katie, did you do any research yesterday? Did you come up with any more theories? We were working on the scavenger hunt all day yesterday. Me, my wife, my brother-in-law, and his girlfriend, and my nephew. There's a scavenger hunt they do in my area. I guess it's in different states too, but they give you the first clue yesterday, and you had to figure all this shit out. We got one clue. We got the one part of it done. It's very tough. I'm taking some notes here. Good morning.
Good morning. Well,
How
it's
you doing?
afternoon in Scotland.
What is it?
It is 12:20
In the afternoon.
in the afternoon, and the sunshine is out in Scotland.
About time, huh?
Yeah, it's always raining. How are you?
Okay, getting a little better. Put some Vicks on my chest yesterday.
Yeah, I'm.
Are you sick? You're sick too, huh?
I'm sick.
Let me fix this camera real quick. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a cup of tea. Can you see the sunshine in Scotland?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
I'm still sweating.
It was raining yesterday, and we had like a weather warning for really high winds. It was crazy. So, like in Scotland, they kind of say like you get 4 seasons in one day.
I don't know why that does that. Does that camera look all right?
Yeah.
Comes in and out. I don't know why.
See, because I'm not feeling well, like my eyes and everything are all bloody and.
Yeah, look at mine. I haven't slept for months.
No, you look good this morning.
You think I look better?
Thinking you look really fresh.
Yeah, I didn't do my. No alcohol. I didn't drink this weekend. That's another plus, right?
Oh, that's good. I don't really drink. Hardly ever.
I only drink like once a week if I do.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm on medication, so like it just doesn't do very well. But I will have it if I'm out with family for a party or something.
All right.
So you gonna?
Trav, did you get that? I don't know how else to do it, bro. Did you feed him back? Are you still here? I don't know how to get to your page from this page from does anyone know how to do that?
Was this somebody else? Somebody joining?
Yeah, Travis, he's gonna come up here.
Oh,
maybe Keith.
oh, how cool! That the guy that
Yeah.
done his story.
Yeah, but Trav, you sent it to my messenger, but I don't know how to get it from here. So like right now I'm on StreamYard. You see what I'm saying? How would I get it from here to StreamYard? I mean from Facebook to StreamYard.
Is Travis on his Facebook page?
Yeah, I think.
Is it because if he's on your live, then does he not just click on your link?
Yeah, no, but he wants, I don't know, maybe he wants to do it from his page.
Still should work if it's Facebook. I'm on Facebook and I was able to log in.
Yeah, but I think you wanted to stream. I could end it, Trav, and I could try it. I don't know how to copy and paste it to this though.
Don't ask me,
I never did that
Travis.
before.
I had a hard time logging on this morning into the bloody studio with you.
Yeah, I never really did that either.
Well, I think you're doing amazing because I was actually thinking about it the other night, like when we were on the live and chatting and you're putting up the videos, and I was like, oh my God, he's doing amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
got a lot
log
better,
on,
right?
log out. I just log
got a
on
lot
and
better.
log out. Yeah, it's really good. You're doing really good.
I'm still sweating. I was running this morning.
Oh, that's good. What
And then
time
I
is
got a
it over
shower.
there?
What's up?
What time is it?
Oh, it's 7:30.
Wow, that's good.
But then I get out of the shower and I still sweat. Good morning.
Well, is anybody on the page? I can't see.
Yeah, there's 16 people here.
Oh, hi,
I
everybody.
Trav wanted to do this, but I don't know how to. If someone could tell me, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to go from. I guess I'd have to copy the link, right?
Yeah, maybe copy the link and try and send it private message.
He has it in my messenger, but I don't know how to get that from. I don't know how to get his link from Messenger to StreamYard. I can't stream from two places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if he motherfucker, if he jumps up on here, he can stream this to his channel.
Yeah. Did you do a live with Adam a couple of weeks ago?
No, I couldn't make it. I worked late, and then
and you were
started getting really sick. I don't know, man. Is that your link? But I don't know how to copy that. I can't copy it from up here. Trav, you join this one, or I can end this one and then join yours. If you want to do that, it's up to you. Just let me know what you want to do.
Got a crazy cat in, out all morning.
Is it your cat?
Yeah, he just sits at the back door, like wanting in, wanting out.
Good morning, Jennifer. I'm going to tell my story here once we get. We're going to talk about whatever we want. Don't really matter. You have a topic you want to talk about? Flat Earth?
I think you should tell your story, Travis. That's a good idea. I'm sure all the guys on the page will enjoy that, and we get to know you a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? You get to know people like a wee bit better on a deeper level.
Oh, sorry, Lisa. I missed that comment. Here's a response.
I'm unwell and I'm still smoking.
Well, you got a vape or what?
Yes, I'm really going to try and give up. I think this might be the last one I'm going to buy because I thought I'm quite unwell, so I should try while I'm unwell. If you can come off a Class A drugs, Julie, you can come off a vape.
Trav, what do you want to do? You want me to come You want me to end this one and come onto yours or what? My 12-year-old. What?
12-year-old killed himself.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Desiree. 12 years. Desiree, where are you from? Are you in the States or where? 12 years old. What a fucking shame, man.
Oh, bless his heart.
That is
We
terrible.
always talk about the children, don't we, on here? And obviously, Travis, you always say you're not a parent because that's your truth. But we always talk about the children and families and how difficult it is right now for young children in this world. It is so difficult. So sorry for that, mum. It's a parent's worst nightmare.
Oh, how long? If you don't mind, how long was it going on for? At 12 years old, it just pisses me off because I know when I was at 12, I can't even remember that shit going on. You know what I mean? I don't even remember really seeing anyone being bullied at 12. 12, what grade you in at 12? 7th, 6th, 7th? What pisses me off is like no one would stand up for him, right? Like I don't know the whole story, but like you mean to tell me one fucking kid, and I don't mean to cuss, but I get worked up and I'm fired up this morning. Now one kid could help him out. Now one kid could stand up for him. I mean, I know it's not on their responsibility, right? I get it. And we can't pass blame on anybody. But you mean to tell me that one kid was raised that if you've seen this going on to do something about it? That's where I get pissed off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess you need to know the background of the story.
Yeah, Desiree, I get that, but you're not at school. I'm talking about like a classmate. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about you. No. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm talking about if I'm sitting in class and your son, I'll just call him John Doe, is bullied every single fucking day by the same kids every single day. And I'm just sitting there doing nothing about it. Or the kid beside me ain't doing nothing about it. Like, come on, at some point, no one stood up for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what disturbs me.
Schools are really difficult right now, Travis. Obviously, we always talk about it, and you always say like you don't have that experience of being a parent. So I don't mean this in any way, but like what I find, I've got 3 children, and there was one young boy that was being bullied by a group of, and my son was involved in this group that were bullying this one particular boy, and obviously I spoke to my son about it and I wasn't happy about it, and I told him, do not be involved in any type of bullying. It's not okay, it's not acceptable. You have had a hard time through your life, and you of all people should know what it's like to be bullied, right? So this group of young boys in the primary school, so our, obviously I don't know how your schools work, but our children were about in their final year in the lower level school, so primary 7, getting ready to go to the next level, and they were basically all targeting this one boy. So this young boy, I believe, maybe had like some ADHD going on, right? So they were all pressing this boy's buttons and thinking it was funny. Like they thought it was funny, like to press this boy's buttons all the time, and they would all sit back and get a laugh while this boy would get angry, and it just would happen all the time, all the time. Sometimes that's, yeah, it's really wrong, isn't it? Sometimes this little group, they all stick together, they all egg each other on. They're like the kind of group in school that are looked upon like, do you know what I mean? Like, and then the other kids don't want to say anything because they don't want to be picked on by this group. It's not good.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Desiree, I'm not gonna pass blame on anybody, right?
Yeah, it's really awful nowadays. Like, I don't know what this mum's experience is, but the schools tend to, like, certainly over here, they're not very good with bullying. They don't deal with it properly. Most of the parents are left trying to deal with the bullying situations themselves.
I'm trying to figure
Trying to
this
get
out with
Travis
Travis. We're messaging each other right now. I don't want to be ignorant and ignore anyone, so Sullivan, you take over for a minute. You're in
Okay.
charge.
Oh God.
I got to
I need to get glasses.
I don't know how. I don't know enough about this damn interwebs to figure this out. But what I can do is go to his page, I guess, right? And I could stream. Or wait, maybe I could use my phone. We'll figure it out here.
Oh yeah, Jennifer's sending support to the mum. Is it Desiree? Is that the mum's name? My son Noah was an ADHD child and ODD. Yes, so was mine, Desiree. He was very small for his age. He was loving, kind, caring. Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah, like, my son has got ADHD and ODD as well. He's 16 just now. We're doing better than he was when he was younger, but yeah, it's heartbreaking. They're just the kindest, gentlest children underneath ADHD, because that's ADHD is a condition. It's just not. It's not your child, is it? I get that. My boy is outside, like, exterior, can look like a badly behaved child, but underneath it, he is a really soft, kind, really in touch with his emotions, more sensitive than quite a lot of the other children. It's so difficult, but I'm so sorry for your loss. Can't begin to imagine.
Let me message him back real quick.
Travis, you're doing amazing. Do you know what? There's no rush. You just try and figure it out. Noah's a lovely name as well. Noah. It's lovely. How are his friends doing, Desiree?
All right, I'm back. Me and the boys are therapy. Do you have younger brothers or older?
Well, she was saying that 6 of his young friends found him.
Whoa, what'd she say here?
6 of his young friends found him. Whatever happened, his friends found him.
What the hell? That is terrible.
Yeah, traumatic.
How is everyone doing as like a group? I mean, see, when suicide, you know how that is, like the loss of somebody. We all grieve different, right? Because we all have different relationships with the person. You know what I mean? A mother, a father, a brother, friends. So, I mean, these kids at six of his friends found them, right? Not only, Noah suffered his childhood with bullying, and now you got 6 of his friends that see him deceased, right? So not only do they see that, now they got to deal with that. So it just don't affect one person, this is affecting, you know what I mean? Multiple people, right? You got 6 of his friends seeing him deceased. You got a mother that lost a son. You got brothers that lost a sibling. You got a father that relapsed due to it. This is why this shit ain't no joke. You know what I mean? It's way deeper than what people think.
I was having a conversation with my mum yesterday. We were out in the car, and obviously my older boy is ADHD and oppositional defiance, the same as Desiree's boy, and we're always talking about different things. I was actually telling my mum about the discussion we were having the other night, and she said, "Oh, that's cheery, Julie." I said, "Well, it's just topic that we were talking about, Mum. Obviously, it's happening all over the world. Anyway, she was saying, "Oh, you have to watch this program. It's about young females that are being diagnosed with ADHD and autism. How females are different from males. Like
Yeah.
when they're younger, they can mask a lot of their symptoms, and then when they get into like sort of secondary school." So what is secondary school in America? So that would be like age 11, 12.
So yeah, we go like where I'm at. We go from 1 to 6, I believe. That's how it was when I
Mm-hmm.
was growing up. And then
Yeah.
7 and 8th grade was middle school, and then it went 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. But I think that's changing too. So
Yeah, so there were like basically we were having a conversation about ADHD and the school system, and basically I was kind of trying to say, well, I think the school systems are not set out properly for children with autism and ADHD and all these other conditions, because they're trying to make children fit into this box instead of treating children like individuals and nurturing them as individuals. They're all trying to make them be the same. I just don't get that.
yeah, I don't know.
Bullying inside the school
There's
campus
the link.
also.
If anyone wants to join. I'm still trying to get. I don't know. I can't do what Trav wants to do. I either got to end this and go copy his link, or
What is Travis saying to do?
he said we'll blame it on the clips. I don't know how. I don't know if you can stream at 2 different places at once. All right, let's get back to Desiree. So, her husband is what? He's back on drugs. Is that what the? Oh, okay. Me and my boys are in therapy. His dad relapsed back to drugs and has left the family. Oh, I mean, see,
Difficult.
that's the thing, right? If he obviously you already had a drug addiction. If he's back on drugs, so losing his son, I mean, it's got to be. I can't even put words into it, right? So that's why he went back. I mean, I get
Yeah.
it. It's not the right thing to do, but
No.
it's like I said,
Obviously,
it's everyone's affected differently.
yeah, obviously I'm in recovery as well, Desiree. So addiction is a pretty selfish illness. Do you know what I mean? Like, his way of trying to run away from it is like just go into oblivion, when really his family need him. His family need him to be there, but addiction is a very selfish disease. It is. It's heartbreaking. Yeah. So
I
I'm an
mean,
addict coming from that point of view, which his family could be doing with him, probably being around to support, but addiction is selfish.
Desiree, you said you do go to therapy, right?
It's hard. Yeah, it must be really hard.
Well, yeah, you're trying to fix him. They're helping him. I mean, it's like tug of war. Is
Well, it's like
therapy helping? I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, I'm glad you're doing that.
I guess the family have lost a wee brother and a sort of dad at the same time, so it's like it's double trauma, isn't it? It's just so
Yeah, that's true too.
complicated.
That's a
And
great point.
yeah, it's they've lost a wee boy and a dad at the same time.
Yeah, you lose your brother in a traumatic way, and then you lose your father because of
Yeah,
losing your brother. So not only have they lost a brother, they lost a father. Now you got a mother without a husband. I guess you were married without a husband and a son. Then you're left with 2 sons, or however many kids you have. I think you said 2 that are still
6.
struggling. I mean, where does it stop?
Yeah,
You know
poor
what I mean?
Desiree must be totally overwhelmed. It must be so overwhelming. I can only begin to imagine. I went through difficulty with my own kids, but not at that level. That's a lot.
Are your counselors specialize in trauma? What, the ones that she's going to? Hopefully.
I have two at
Oh,
home.
2 at home
And
and 3 adult children. Oh, you had 6 kids total. I didn't know that.
Noah was the youngest wee boy in our family, she said. He was the youngest.
Here's the link again if anyone wants to come up here.
So, Travis, are you not able to get Travis, the other Travis?
I think he's going to come over, but I got to explain to him. I'm going to talk to him. That way you can understand. I can't stream in 2 places at once. I can share his stream, right? So like we and you could be over here and then we can be watching his live, but we can't be a part of it unless,
Can you not? I don't know.
I'm trying to think how I would do it.
Can he call you or something?
What's that?
Can you talk to him for 5 minutes on your phone or try and figure it out?
Yeah, he said he was going to come over here.
That shit.
He said he was going to come over here, so. But you can't.
Do you know what? Just think about it, right? This time next year, you're going to have this all figured out. It's all part of the learning journey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I kind of know how it works. I guess how would I do that? He said, call your nephew. I was on the phone with him for like 3 hours yesterday trying to figure this damn scavenger hunt out. What annoying. So hard, man. Yeah, I mean, she got a lot going on. You know, that's a lot to deal with. I mean, you're pulled so many ways, you know, and then you got your own mental health and your own well-being to worry about. But as a mother, you know, you sacrifice that and to take care of your kids. Not only that, but you lost your partner as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're doing the best you can. Absolutely, Desiree. You're only human. You're one person, and you've got all the needs of these other people that you're trying to meet. And then, as a mum, your needs go to the background. And I hope, are you getting some support? Obviously, hopefully, you're getting counselling and grieving counselling as well. Because as a mum, you end up burnt out. You end up putting all the kids first, which is a parent's job, but you just end up losing yourself.
How do you find the extra help? I mean, how do you work on yourself while you're trying to work? I mean, you got kids that are at home that rely on you, you know, and then, you know, you had that person to help, but now he's gone, right? He has his own issues that he has to deal with. You don't want him around the kids because that's not going to be good. You know what I mean? He's an addict going through the same thing you're going through and obviously dealing with it with a different way. Here, Travis, here's the,
how do you join live on here?
Here's the,
see,
here's the link.
Travis, not Travis, the other, I'm talking to the Travis that's asking the question. How do you join the live? Travis, if you click on the link, it'll take you to the little white page, StreamYard. There's 3 little dots. I had to figure this out twice this morning. There's 3 little dots, and if you press on that little dots, it'll say open up in external browser. If you press that, it takes you straight into your page, Travis.
Yeah, see, like, I don't know how.
He'll get it. It might take 1 or 2 times, but it's quite self-explanatory.
I don't know how I can get onto his page. I don't know. I've seen it done before, though. But he's not on StreamYard. That's what it is. That's why he's not using StreamYard.
It's a single on my head.
I got you now, man.
Oh, my goodness. Woo-woo.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. It's because you're not on StreamYard, right? You're on Facebook.
Well, I got StreamYard, and I copied the link when I was going live and sent it in the chat on your page. But I don't think it's clickable or something. So I need tech people. I'm not tech savvy at all.
Yeah, me either.
Don't look at me. I'm awful.
Well, I blame it. I'm just blaming it all on the solar eclipse, man. So that's it.
Yeah.
Hey,
When does
how
that
are
come
you?
tomorrow?
Yeah, it's supposed to be about, I think, 2:30, 3 o'clock our time, Central Time, till yeah. So we'll see. We'll see some of it, but I don't think people are freaking out as bad yet. Like the store still got toilet paper and bottled water in it, so we're not too afraid.
Your audio's cutting in and out. I don't know if there's anything.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you say you're waiting on like some sort of tornado?
Me?
Tornado.
No, an eclipse. What?
Yeah, we get. Do you heard about the eclipse coming?
Well, I'm in Scotland, so
Well, it's worldwide.
yeah, we've got
Yeah.
like so right now
Your moon.
outside.
Oh, Sullivan,
it's
it's
like
your sun and moon too.
Kansas. Yeah,
Let
it's
me-
really windy here. It's really windy, and like we don't normally get weather like crazy, but it's like Kansas City.
Okay. No. Yeah, I swear we've had like
I don't know how this
3 or
works.
4 of these in the last 10 years, but I guess this is the first solar eclipse we're ever going to
Oh.
have. But some people are kind of freaking out about it. I'm not necessarily, but you never know.
Travis,
Yeah.
Travis with the glasses, right? Travis with the glasses. I listened to your story a couple of weeks ago, and honestly, like I was just in the house. It was late at night because our time difference, and I just came off completely buzzing after listening. And so I am a fellow like recovering addict also. So yeah, I was really enjoyed listening to your story.
Oh, I'm glad. I mean, it was definitely not, and I consider it an honor to be able to share that story with anybody. And
Yeah.
like I was telling Travis, we only scratched the surface of a little bit of it, but
Absolutely.
if it helps anybody,
Yeah.
that's good. So
I
I
also
appreciate
have
that.
recovery, mental health, depression, ADHD children. We got the whole lot going on. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, but it's all good. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I enjoyed listening to your story, and I'm really glad that you're in your recovery journey. So yeah, rooting for you.
Yeah, it's just got to be a way of life. Like we can't be in and out with it. There's no days. There's no days off necessarily, but that's why I was like so attracted to Travis's page here, because mental illness and mental health and expectations from society and family and work and relationships, we put too much expectations on ourselves, unrealistic goals. I mean, all those kind of failures add up, and that feeds right into addiction. It makes us want to escape. It makes us depressed and suicidal and withdrawn.
Yeah.
And the stigmas of society is
Yeah.
crucial. It's a silent killer, in my opinion.
It is.
Like
So I'm not going to go too much into it, but I'm not really sure. So we might have done a similar program, I think. I don't know if you're doing 12 steps, are you?
Yeah, I'm currently on a little like 8 or 9 question on step 3. Step 3 is not that difficult for me so far because it's really the spiritual faith God question. So I'm having a decent time with that one.
Yeah.
But so far I haven't met any difficulty.
You both cut out sometimes. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, all I did was join. I don't even have any options. I just see Mike. Nothing's like
I don't know
messing mine up or nothing.
Can you get better service in the house? I just don't want to.
It sounds perfect on my end. I can hear you.
Like
I
right
can
there,
hear
you're-
Travis. Sounds perfect.
Yeah, I just hear you.
I don't know if it's your internet or what, but it's like you'll talk for like a couple seconds and then it will cut out.
That. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you the whole
Can
time.
you hear me now?
Yeah. I can hear you the whole time. It's just it gets foggy
Oh,
and then it
what?
comes back. I can hear you now too.
I put echo I checked echo cancellation and took that off there.
It like lags
Automatically adjust mic. How about that?
Yeah, it's just lagging, or maybe it's mine. I don't know. No, it's not
I think
lagging
it's
for nobody else.
I think it might be yours, Travis, because it happened first thing when I logged
How about
on.
that?
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you.
Good.
Oh, so it's not lagging for nobody else, then maybe it is me. Okay.
I think it is. Listen,
How come I can't hear you guys now? Hold
You
on.
can't hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. I changed it to speakerphone. Let me try the echo cancellation thing right quick. I'm learning as I go.
So it's lagging on my end. It's not lagging for
Let me
nobody
hear
else.
you guys.
I think it's lagging on your end.
I
Maybe.
don't know. I don't hear nothing from my end, but just when you guys speak, it's a little crackly. But I don't know. Once again, I blame that on the solar eclipse. It's probably what's doing it. But
Is it lagging for anyone else? So I just want to know. So it could just be my internet connection.
it's not lagging. I just hear like the little staticky crackling a little bit, but it's not terribly too annoying or nothing. I'll take it as as far as just even getting on here this morning. I tried. I don't see too many options to help anything with echo cancellation and
it's not.
something else.
No. It's me then. It's obviously me because Key said it's no lag at all. So it's on my end.
Hey, that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I mean,
Travis.
that way.
That's better.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
This
That's
is
good.
so confusing. This is so confusing with the Travises, right? So confusing.
Well, I'm just Trav.
right.
I
Trav
dropped.
and Travis.
Yeah, I had to drop the
Travis.
is. I had to drop the is a few years ago when Biden took over. I couldn't afford the is after Trav, so I'm just Trav now.
Oh
He
yeah.
broke you.
Yeah, and then
All right, so
did.
there's
I
no
couldn't.
lag.
Yeah.
There's no
Well,
lag everywhere else. So
Travis.
it's me. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
Travis.
if the audio is the same for everybody else, but I'm just
No,
I'm just
it's
hearing
good.
it from here. It could be because there's three of us. I don't know.
No,
I just got
Listen,
my old phone.
This is what I was going
No,
to
it's me.
say. I'm not feeling 100%, so I'm not I'm still loaded with a cold. I'm nasally and coughing. Trav, why don't you do the questions and support Travis doing his story, and I can listen? Because maybe
It's
having
fine.
three of us here might get a bit complicated, or you guys do it.
No, it's all right. I'm gonna get some more
Yeah.
coffee. It's
Yeah,
obviously my connection. It's not you guys. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like that for everybody. I'll be right back.
Travis is going to. I've been trying to pin Travis down for a couple of weeks now. I'm like, come on, Travis, let's do your story.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pressurize him, but obviously no pressure. But
Yeah.
it's good to get to know somebody. It's good to get to know them on a kind of know some of their journey and their life. Do you know what I mean? We've all got different life journeys.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely crucial. I think the more somebody can relate to somebody else on something, the more that
They'll
gives
open up.
them confidence to lean in a little bit instead of stepping away.
Yeah,
If you don't-
exactly.
If people feel like nobody understands them or they won't understand them, then they just keep all that stuff to themselves, and that's not a fulfilling life at all.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just kind of step out of the live because I'll listen in the background, and you and Travis can do it.
You don't have to go nowhere.
I know I don't have to go anywhere. I don't feel pushed out. Don't worry, I'm not affected or my feelings are not hurt. I'm totally cool with it. I'm just not feeling 100%.
Oh no,
Do you
you're
know what I
good.
mean?
Whatever you're going to do, yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll sit back and listen and I mean,
sounds good. So what am I? I'm sharing my story. Is that what we're doing?
Do you know what? I was a little nervous when I came up and talked. Everybody's nervous when they talk about themselves.
No. I'm not. No, I'm just wondering. Is that,
No, me
I was
neither.
out of the room.
Yeah. Okay. Right, guys.
Some are,
but
I'm definitely not one.
I'm gonna log out and just listen in, and yeah. So I will speak to you guys later, and I'll be
Alrighty.
listening.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks.
You too, Trav. Right.
Take
I'm
care.
gonna listen in. Bye.
I wonder if the audio is better. Yeah, see, the audio is still a little ruffled. It could just because be the distance or something. Ain't you in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, but I think it's just they're working on my internet, dude. If everybody else has it good and it's clear, it's just
Yeah.
it's on my end.
Yeah, I just hear it. Like I don't hear it when I'm talking now, but then if like you or her were talking, then yeah, it was kind of like that. But I don't think it's too bad. I don't think you're gonna lose anybody over it.
Oh no, I ain't worried about that. I just want to make sure it sounds good. You know what I mean?
So,
But anyway, so my story. Well,
yeah.
I'm 40. I'm 42 now. We'll go back. I grew up in Lancaster, in the city of Lancaster. If you're ever familiar with Lancaster, PA.
I haven't heard of it though, but no.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? So, as a young kid, I ran the streets in the city. You know what I mean? I lived in the city till I was like 7, 8. I can't even remember what year it was when I left. Yeah, but Keith, I'm talking about like in the city. There's no buggies in there. But anyway, that's when you could buy cigarettes for your mom. You know what I mean? You can go to she'd write a note and I buy her cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? That's when this was. So that's like when Nintendo came out. But anyway, we ran the streets. I had 3 older brothers. 2 of them were like 9, 10 years older than me. And then my older brother, he's like 3 years older than me. So I was the youngest Oswald, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, we ran the streets, getting in fights. We get jumped, you know what I mean? How it was in the city back then. We used to flip our bike. So when you go down the local 7-Eleven, you could we go in and play arcade. They had arcades in there then, right? So and it was all glass, right? So we had a hutch. My brother had a hutch bike. And I always tell this story about my brother. My brother passed away, the one that passed away, Lou. But anyway, me and Keith were in there, and these dudes came in. It don't matter about the race. I ain't gonna say the race. That don't matter. But they could like strong arm me. You know what I mean? I'm only like 7, 8 years old. So they took my money and shit. I was playing the game. I had quarters. And then you could see them outside the glass, and they flipped my brother's bike over. They took it. So he ran out, went around the building. There's 2 guys waiting for him. They jumped him, right? And then my other brother that passed away. Now, this is years ago, right? He was like 17. He come walking down the street, and I saw we're calling his name. I was like, they stole Keith's bike, right? So then he goes running up the street, my brother Lou, and then like 10 minutes later, he comes back with the bike, right? So it was it's pretty wild, you know. As a kid, seeing your older brother, he was like a superhero, you know what I mean? Like these guys stole our bike, and then here comes my brother, and he brings it back, right? He brings it back with him. So that was kind of what it was like living in the city, you know. My dad was a Vietnam vet. He did two tours in Vietnam. You know, my mom, they both worked. My mom worked right across. We lived in an alleyway, right? And then down across the street, we had a park. And we lived up this alleyway. So, and my grandma lived at the end of the alleyway, Chestnut Street. And then my aunt lived down the street. My other aunt lived. So growing up, my cousins, they were like brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was kind of rough with my dad, you know, being a Vietnam vet. He wasn't the best dad at the time, best husband. You know what I mean? So it was rough, man. It was kind of, I don't remember too much of it because I was so young. But then my parents got divorced. And I kind of stayed with my grandma down the street a little bit. And then my mom like dated a couple people. I don't know. I don't really remember much of it. But then my stepdad, he worked with my mom. Well, he wasn't my stepdad at the time. But then he came into the picture. And we ended up moving. They got together. And then they ended up having my little brother. And then after that, we moved one more time. And then at this point, I'm in like, what, seventh grade? 7th grade, I was real bad. Like I acted out a lot, you know, I'm like the class clown, like being like out of control. You know what I mean? I didn't know what it was from. I really didn't have any anxiety at this point. You know, I was into sports. I played football my whole life. But then I was getting in trouble, you know, getting like thrown out of class. Just being, I don't know if I was acting out or what, but it was pretty bad. So then after that, when I got to high school, my youngest brother, well, he's older than me, but he wouldn't be my youngest brother. Anyway, the brother is 3 years old. He was a senior, and I was a freshman, so I could like go to school with him. You know what I mean? But then during school, you know, I didn't really drink that much on the weekends. You know, as I got older, we drink on the weekends and getting in fights. You know, outside of school, and then after I graduated, played football my whole high school career, whatever you want to talk about it. But in between all that, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety. I didn't know what the hell it was. You know what I mean? I just dealt with it. I remember sitting in class. Remember I was talking about like having them thoughts where like you don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know what all this is. You know what I mean? I remember sitting in class and just looking at people like, what the fuck? You know, what is all this shit? Like what is all I mean, I got like out on the football field too sometimes, you know what I mean? It was just bizarre, right?
And that's still going on for you like nowadays.
Sometimes, you know, doing this shit helps a lot. I can't explain the thoughts I have, but I remember at one time I was like 13. So I'm a confirmed member of the Lutheran Church, right? So I went through like graduated Lakewood High School. So that you're like a confirmed member, you know, I don't know if you know ever heard of that, but
No.
and then after I graduated, like, you know, then we quit kind of going to church. But I remember my pastor coming to my house and talk to me about it. Like I was trying to explain it to him, like, you know, what is all this? Like, what is life? And that was a lot of my anxiety, dude. Like, just trying to figure this whole thing out. Like, what is everything? I always worked hard, you know what I mean? At 11 years old, I started working on a vegetable farm and shit. But I don't know if it's because like my parents splitting up and like never even like dealing with it, you know, because I was the youngest kid, you know, we just kind of moved on with life, you know. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it's Lutheran. It's almost Catholic. But so yeah, I don't know, I probably missed some things, but so then after I graduate, I moved out and I was 19 years old. You know, I never felt like it was kind of weird at home, you know. My parents and they were always there for me. It wasn't like if I ever need anything, they would do it for me. I never really asked for shit. And I just didn't feel right being there. I don't know. It was a weird feeling. And so I moved out, you know. I didn't feel like I fit in. It's not that I was the black sheep. I just didn't feel like it was weird. It was hard being that because my other brother, he's a half brother, right? So it was his dad's, you know what I mean, my stepdad's son, you know what I mean? But she never really treated me different, but it just didn't feel right. So I moved out at 19. I've never been back, right? I struggled. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to have no money. I know what it's like, you know, it was fucking hard, right? So I didn't really know myself at that time. So at 21, I mean, I was going to the bars at like 20 of my brothers, you know what I mean? Because they were older, they get me in. And I was a fucking head case, dude. Like all my pain and anger, I didn't know who to take it out on, you know what I mean? But I didn't know where it stemmed from.
Well, I was going to ask.
When I go to the bars, I wouldn't pay attention to the people around me, like my friends. It's like, dude, I see you all the time. Like I'm watching everybody else. That's just how I was. It's weird. Like I never sat with my back to the thing, to the doorway and shit. You know, I was just I never was in combat. I don't know where it comes from. But even to this day, you can ask my wife. I do the same thing. Like I don't know if it's because I don't know why. But anyway, I always paid attention to other people and what they thought about me and my group of friends or whatever. So that's what got me into fights, right? I heard shit no one heard, or maybe it was made up. You know what I mean? I don't know. But then, yeah, I mean, I'm thrown out of a lot of bars because of that. And I'm not proud of it, but I mean, when you like, I could probably name 4 or 5 bars I'm not allowed into because of just fighting. You know what I mean? Not knowing how to control my anger. And this ain't just random people. I mean, I got in fights with my brothers. All my brothers I fought. That's just how we are. I don't know what it is, man. It's
Oh, so was there a lot of like run-ins with the law and stuff? I mean, you don't got to talk about your record, but
no, I don't have nothing.
None.
That's an amazing thing, dude. I'm not saying bar fights. I'm not bullshitting you. I mean, one time we had a bar, it's right up the street from my house, and it's like an underground. It's called the Underground. So you have like the pizza shop up top. Anyone that's from this area will know what I'm talking about. And then there's like the bar underneath. Well, the dance floor is, you walk in, you go the whole way to the back. That's where the dance floor is. Well, this dude messing with my brother on the dance floor, and I'm not even bullshitting when I tell you this is God honest truth. They get in a fight on the dance floor. We're getting like pushed out the door. Well, these dudes are coming, and we took the one dude, threw him over the bar. You know what I mean? We're pretty big dudes, me and my brother. And well, at the time, now he's not as big as he was. And we throw this dude, and I remember like it's sad to say, I remember like kicking a dude, and I never tied my shoes, so I remember my shoe. It was like slow motion. It comes up in the air, lands, and I put it back on. And we're getting pushed out the door. Blah blah blah. We get out there. We're getting ready to leave. I look down, my other buddy's down there. I was like, come on, dude, let's go. He's like, F you. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you're with us, right? Turns around, punches the owner right in the face. And there's like 6 bouncers with him, right? So we got to run back down there. He's getting choked to death. So getting back to my record thing. So when we leave, I guess they got the guy that was driving his license plate or whatever. And so we got letters in the mail, like terroristic threats and blah, 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 blah. All this shit, dude. So it's like, you're not allowed back in here. But none of us ever went to jail. I never went to jail. I never got arrested. I got an underage once. And that happened in high school. That's another thing. Like, so that happened in high school, but they didn't catch me drinking. What happened was we were in a car and we pulled back behind the shopping center and he went to throw the bag away. Or we went to throw, I don't know what the hell we were doing back there. Throwing pizza boxes away or something. But we already threw the pizza boxes away. And there was a cop back there because they were getting broken into. So the cop pulls us over, right? And then no one got a DUI or anything, but he found beer in the trunk. So we all got underage. So I had to go to like I was in drug and alcohol classes in high school, but I didn't do drugs. I never did anything besides drink alcohol and smoke weed because I was too afraid to touch any drugs because of my mind. Right? Like I can't live in this mind anyway. So you want me to be on cocaine or you want me to be on acid or something? You're fucking crazy. Like we're all going to die. You know what I mean? Like I can't control my shit now. You know what I mean?
Usually doesn't go that way. Usually having that mind already kind of messed up, man. 9 times out of 10, people will be like, give me something to get away with that. But it seems like you found some healthy alternatives. And
yeah, I don't
know. I wouldn't say luck, but I mean, there's a lot of fortunate events,
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's pretty, because like people would think that, but I mean, like, and a lot of times it wasn't like getting thrown out of bars. Like, it wasn't just like, I guess it was fights, man. Like, but I mean, and, I'm not gonna. I mean, having older brothers, right? It's a little easier, right? It's a little easier when they're with you to, you know what I mean? You have at least someone's gonna have your back, right? If shit gets crazy, but, yeah, I mean, there's one bar in Millersville, and right outside of I got barred twice from there. I'm still not allowed in. My brothers were in there the other week, and they ID'd him because we look alike, and they were wondering it was me. And this, you're talking, fuck, 18 years, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but that the whole point of that and talking about that is because I didn't know how to control my emotions, right? Like, it's not that I hated people; it's just I didn't know how to get rid of the pain I was going through. You know what I mean? And what was that pain? I still don't know what that pain was. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's because coming from a broken home, like my stepdad and my mom, I didn't really know my dad till I was like 16, like to really get to talk to him and shit and really be a part of his life and him be a part of my life. Like he was in and out of it. My mom raised us, you know what I mean? And my stepdad, I mean, you can't find a better stepdad, take on four boys, you know what I mean? And then have a boy of his own. You're not going to find too many guys like that.
You still talk to him regularly, or?
Oh yeah, my stepdad.
Yeah.
They're they only live like 20 minutes away. We're all kind of in the same area.
Brothers and stuff too.
Yeah, my two brothers, they're right beside each other in the little cul-de-sac. But yeah, my stepdad and my mom, and then my dad. My dad, he's not in the best health right now. He's kind of shitty. But then, like, go ahead.
You get support from all. I mean, do they know you're doing this, and you get support from them? I mean, this is a big part of what's keeping you sane, and
right. Yeah, I mean, I do
on the decent side of it.
That's a great question, dude, because I never asked for anything, right? I never asked for people to be totally honest with you. Not many people talk to me about what I do. None of my friends.
That's crazy, because that was the first thing I thought of when you had me on that one time. I'm like, I even said in our interview, I want to like talk to him. I want to hear his story. So go ahead.
Well, say that again, dude. My damn internet's so shitty. Say it again.
Yeah, you mentioned that nobody's really asked your side of things, your story, or whatever. It seemed all that interested. But when you had me on a few weeks ago, that was one of my first thoughts. Was like, you asking me to tell mine and all this, and asking me questions and everything. And I remember halfway through the interview, I'm like, well, I'm definitely going to ask him to, let me interview him and have his story, told. Because I think that's the number one thing for people with mental health issues, spirituality, whatever. is being able to connect and relate to somebody else on some issue. And for you to say that you do all this for everybody, 214,000 followers,
Right.
yeah, it's time that I just, in my opinion, I think it's time for you to let them in on your life, and it's important.
Yeah,
I mean, you're there for everybody every morning, and for
Yeah,
me, I was like, I gotta hear from Travis.
Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Like to me, like it was never about me though, right? Because well, let's
Right,
go.
right.
Where was that in the story? So let's say, oh yeah, so I'm getting into fights and trouble. Well, and at that point, I was with a chick for like our couple years in high school, and then out of school. And then when I moved out, I moved in with a dude that I worked for. We graduated together, and his dad owned this poultry farm, right? So we would catch chickens, and then he had a butcher shop too. So we do all that, and then I moved in with him. But then after that, I moved. Or how did I go? Let me think here. Yeah, I moved out of my house and moved in with him. And then after I was with this chick, and we moved in together. And then she cheated on me. And this is like I'm 21, 22, right? And I'm already like fucking don't even know where I'm going. You know what I mean? Like I always worked. I worked at 2 jobs. I worked at the poultry plant, and then I worked at the UPS. You know what I mean? And I bust my ass at UPS. Anyone who's ever worked at UPS, and this is prior. This is right around like what was it? 9/11, right? So you're talking 2001. So then when that happened, dude, I was just like, I had to move out, you know what I mean? Because she was moving out and she was like pregnant and shit. So I was like, what the fuck? It wasn't my kid, obviously. So like, I'm like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Now I'm on my own. I'm not going back home. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to struggle. And at this point, I'm drinking like on Thursday nights. You know what I mean? I'm closing the bar down, getting up for work, going to work on Friday, and getting drunk on Friday night and Saturday night. Again, I never used drugs. I never did cocaine, anything like that. I've been around that shit my whole life, but I never did it.
Oh, you was always able to say, pass on it?
No,
You had to have been offered.
Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, I've been around kilos, dude. You know what I mean?
Well, that's an incredibly rare strength.
I swear, man.
I mean,
you can ask anybody, any of my friends.
I believe you.
Anybody that's been in my life. I never touched it because it was people were like, man, I couldn't imagine you on cocaine because I didn't need it. You know what I mean? Like I was always like, you know what I mean? Like if I was on that shit, I'm destroying houses. You know, I'm going to do something fucking nuts. You know what I mean? I didn't need that shit because I was already hyped enough. I already had that inner energy. You know what I mean? Like I didn't need nothing to get me hyped up. But it was weird though. I mean, where was that in the story? I forget. What was I talking about?
You moved out and
all right, so I'm 19
drinking.
and she does that
Yeah.
shit. All right, so I'm gonna touch base with something right there. 19. I'm just gonna write this down. All right, so back to that cocaine shit. It was weird because like I'd hang out with people, right? All my friends, we'd hang out and like we're drinking. This is a Saturday night, you know what I mean? I'm like my early 20s. Right. And I'm drinking. I drank for 7, 8 hours. You know what I mean? Go home. Right. The next day, I'm like, yo, why is everyone still sleeping and shit? Right. Because these guys will do blow all night, but they wouldn't fucking tell me about it. So it's like, bro, how'd you stay up until 5 a.m? You know what I mean? When I left at 1 or 2 midnight, and I'm shit faced, how are you still awake? Right. And then I kind of put it together. They were doing this shit, but they were doing it behind my back. You know what I mean? Because they knew I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, like, if you're doing like you smoke weed in front of everybody, you're drinking it in front of everybody, why don't you do that shit in front of everybody? But I guess anyone that's ever done it knows that they don't do it in front of people for some reason. You go to the bathroom, right? Or wherever you go. So I don't know. I never understood that either. I mean, are you ashamed to do it? Is that why you do cocaine in the bathroom? Why don't you just do it right in front of everybody? But yeah, that was the weird part. And then it finally clicked. I'm like, all these dudes are doing it, and that pissed me off because it's like you're my friend, bro. You can't be honest with me. Like I knew they dabbled in it, but I didn't know they did it that much, right? But obviously, if I'm leaving and you're that mess, and I know you're drunk because we started drinking at the same time. But I guess when you do blow, you can drink all night. I mean, obviously.
Seems like a waste of money.
Yeah, so that pissed me off, dude. But then okay, so I'm 19. That happens with her. At the time, my brother was living by himself with his kids. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, this is my oldest brother. I was like, yeah, dude, why don't we just move in together? You know, you know what I mean? Share the bills and shit. So then Deborah said didn't want to share. Yeah, that's funny. That's probably true. So yeah, I move out. Me and him get a place together. And at this time, I started working at where I'm at now, PennDOT, right? I'm 21 years old. I start working there, moving it. And I remember my anxiety was over. And back to UPS, too. When I was in UPS, you know, the brown trucks, if anyone knows, the UPS is a mail carrier or packages, right? But back then, you know, it wasn't the volume like we have now. Amazon wasn't around. But I remember being in the back of them trucks, right? And dude, when I started, I was like 205. When I left, I was 160 pounds. That's how much you bust your ass unloading these packages. Like in the summer, it's brutal, dude. You sweat from head to toe. If anyone ever worked there, you know, I'm sure it's worse now. But I'd be in them trucks, dude, and I'd have like the worst panic attacks. You know what I mean? Just out of my mind, dude. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Back to them thoughts, you know, I had. And like, I didn't turn to nobody. I didn't know what the hell it was. I didn't know what it was, anxiety and shit, but I was doing, man. It was rough, dude. It was rough being in them trucks. It's hot. You know what I mean? You're sweating, your anxiety. You're fucking soaked. I drink like, you know, you drink like a gallon of water in a couple hours because it's only part-time work. But that's when my anxiety really got bad. I don't know what the hell causes it though, right? Why is this happening? It could have been because of the alcohol too, you know what I mean? You know, drinking don't help. But then okay, so I started PennDOT, and then I'm 21, I'm like the youngest dude there. And then I'd come into work hungover and shit on Thursdays and Fridays. Oh, no, it'd be like Thursday. No, it'd be Friday morning. And then I was going to quit, but my mom always told me, get a job with benefits, get a job with good benefits. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, I'll hang out. I took a pay cut to go there, right? So I remember being at the bar, my buddy and his mom, and I told her, you know, she's older, you know, I was like, hey, I got a certified letter in the mail, right? Now, this time, you know, I'm in bar fights and shit. I'm like, I ain't picking that thing up. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell that's going to be about because certified letter means you got to go get it. You know what I mean? You got to sign it and shit. And I was like, I'm not going to jail. You know what I mean? But she's like, God, get it. So I went there and opened it up, and it was PennDOT. And it was like an interview thing. You got an interview schedule, blah, blah, blah. So I go in there, you know, and then I got the interview, and then they offered me the job, and I'm taking a pay cut. I was like, well, my mom said, you know, you need to go benefits and shit. So there we go. I'm at PennDOT, 21, youngest dude, you know. It's kind of rough at first. I didn't know what to expect, you know what I mean? I had to get my CDL through them, which is good. I got a Class B through them and shit. And then I got with my wife, you know. I was hanging out at my wife's sister's house with her husband. You know, we played Texas Hold'em. That's when Texas Hold'em came out. And then my wife moved in with them, and then we kind of messed around or whatever, you know, dated a couple times, whatever. And then I remember one night, I'll never forget this until Dad died. One night we're out front of the house, and I just got out of a relationship. She just got out of a relationship, and I remember her start crying, and she's crying, and she's like, I just want to be with you and shit. I'm like, I don't want to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? I'm fucked up in the head. You know, I don't know where this. I don't know. I just don't want to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? And then, you know, she started crying and shit, and I felt bad. So I was like, all right, you know, we'll work on it. So then, I mean, there was nothing to work on, right? It was just, I didn't want to be in a committed relationship. There was nothing really to work on, actually. But so then, yeah, we stayed together, and fuck, it's been 20 years.
Wow.
Some years, you know, well, up and downs, you know, then you know, in my life, and then, you know, to get into that a little bit, I like when I was hanging out with them dudes doing blow and shit, the one dude was like a bookie, you know what I mean? So, you know, he was taking the bets. Other dude was paying him in blow. You know, these dudes are up all night. I was just around it. No, they were my friends because I liked them. They were good people. Like I said, you can be a good guy and do drugs. Just because you do drugs doesn't make you a bad person.
No.
Right? You're just an addict like me. Like I'm addicted to gambling. I was addicted to gambling. So that was the problem, you know, in our early relationship. Like one day we used to live beside a little convenience store, or Getty or whatever you want to call it. I go across the street and I picked up this fucking newspaper. I always go out the newspaper, right? I don't know why. I just, at a young kid, 21, like most guys don't buy newspapers. Well, who buys a newspaper now? But something I enjoyed. I get the newspaper every day. I read it at work. One day I bought like the USA Today or something. I was in there looking at like the the lines for football games. You know how you gamble on football? They have lines. Like, so a team will get so many points, whatever. Now, see, I read this one thing on there. It was like, yeah, man, call me. I'm fucking blah, 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 blah. You know, we'll call me and I'll get you some winning games and shit, you know? So I called this dude, and then it just was like a rabbit hole, dude. Like these dudes know more about the sport than me. You know what I mean? Like, they're telling me who to bet on. You bet on this team and then give me some money. You know what I mean? You bet on this and you give me 30%. Some of the dudes were right. Some of the dudes I winning $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 a day. But then it just got to the point out of hand, right? So I quit doing that. But I've been like, gambling has been like a problem for me on and off my whole life, you know? Like lottery tickets. I never bought a lottery ticket in my life until I started working at PennDOT. And then the dudes were buying lottery tickets. I was like, what the fuck are these things, you know? I mean, figure I only could buy them for like 3 years. 18, you got to be to buy these things. So then I started playing them, and then that was like my addiction, gambling. But then I got like addicted to like working, bro. It was like I always worked since I was a young age. Then I started, I bought this cooker. And me and a friend of mine, we customized it. So I was making pigs and chicken. I did weddings. You know what I mean? I always have. And then I started my junk hauling business. I forgot all that. Like I worked from 7 to 3, so I was bored. We had no kids. So I was like, I'm gonna start like I had a pickup truck. What can I do with my pickup truck? It was a sidestep. I'm like, I want to make some money. You know what I mean? Like I don't making shit at work. People think that you work for the state, you make all this money, which is a complete lie. A lot of that money goes into retirement. So you're not making as much as people think. Not even close. Now I make decent money. I've been here 21 fucking years. I should, right? But anyway, so I started this. I only had a sidestep truck. And then I got like a bigger trailer. Then I got a trailer, and I got a bigger trailer. And then I ended up getting a dump trailer. So I'd load my trailer, go to the dump, unload it by hand. You know what I mean? Load it by hand, unload it by hand, all these fucking times. And I was working before I got my foreman's job at work. I would drive my truck to the dump at 6 a.m, unload my trailer. This is a dump trailer now. Go to work, be there by 7, work all day, and then go do a job, right? And then the next day, do the same thing. Go to the dump, go to work, go do a job, go to the dump, go to work. Saturday mornings. I worked every Saturday for probably 4 or 5 years straight. You know what I mean? Because you got all day, right, to do this shit. So that's still going on a little. And then, well, back to how I started this page. So 2017, I was in the bathroom, going to the bathroom to be real and honest. And my oldest brother, Eric, called me, the one I moved in with. And at this point, no, I didn't move out with my brother. I don't know if I said that. Me and my wife got moved in together. And then, no, obviously we're still living together. So, what was I at there? What the fuck was I saying?
In the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. So I'm in the bathroom and my brother called me. Damn, dude, my mind goes over. And my brother called me. He's like, yo, I was like, what's up, dude? He's like, Sean shot himself. I'm like, what? He's like, Sean shot himself. And I know Sean. Sean was like an uncle. You know what I mean? He was my older brother's best friend. I'm thinking, what the fuck you mean? Like, I know he has guns. Was he cleaning it? Something happened, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, man. He's like, no. I was like, what? And like suicide, I lost my uncle to suicide when I was like 19. And it never really like clicked. Like suicide always held a certain spot in my heart because I was like, damn, dude, a person, because I knew what it was like to be in the shower screaming, no one to listen to. You know what I mean? Like you're all freaked out from them thoughts I had. So it always held a spot in my heart, but I never got to that point. I never got to that point, luckily, right? So he tells me this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? So calling some people, whatever. They finally got in the house. The cops finally broke in because the doors was locked. I was just talking to his son a couple of minutes ago before I got on here. I text him every day since that happened. It's been 7 years. So yeah, they finally found out. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like, Sean took his life. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, so I remember calling my wife at work one day. This was a couple of days after it happened. I'm like bawling and shit, because at this time it was winter time, right? So I struggle a lot in the winter. And like, I was already fucking like really depressed and shit. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I got to do something. I was like, I can't just let this go on. You know what I mean? I can't lose Sean and then not like do anything about it. So I told my wife, I didn't have Facebook. Facebook's been around since I don't know what year, but I never had it. I thought, I never get on Facebook. My wife had one. She didn't have it for that long. I was like, I got to do something, man. Like, I can't just let this happen and not do anything. So I started a page under my name. And then like I didn't want it to be about me, and people were like tagging me and shit, you know, blah blah blah. And then I was like, I gotta start another page. I was like, what am I gonna call it? I said, mental illness and suicide awareness. That sounds good. So boom, we started. Then I guess I invited some people or however you did it then. And then I reached out to the newspaper, right? Lancaster Online. There's a newspaper. Told them my story in like Messenger or whatever. It wasn't my story. It was Sean's story, but I wanted it to bring a light. You know what I mean? He lived in Lancaster. Like, how hard is it to like just do a little interview? And then they didn't want to do it. So my cousin reached out to WGAL, which is the news station, right? And they're like, yeah, we'll come out right away. And I have a park behind my house. I talked about this before anyway. So they come out, they interview me that night. I'm on the fucking news, right? Bawling my eyes out. And like, they loved every minute of that. You know how that is, the media.
Oh yeah.
Blood and sadness sells. But so yeah, that got the page going, right? And then I remember reaching people in California. I told my wife, like, holy hell, there's people from California on here. Like, this is how the internet works, you know? And then I don't know, it's been 7 years, and now we're to where we are now. And I just never gave up on it, right? As we went through this, people would talk to me, and I lost people. I talked about this a little bit the one morning. I lost people that fucking reached out to me and talked to me, you know what I mean? Like, and then I hear that they're dead, you know, and they're like people that in the community here or around me, you know, I didn't talk to them. I didn't know them. Like, I knew them, but I didn't know them, you know what I mean? But they reached out to me, but then like, they would take their lives, dude. And I was like, holy hell. I made a video about the one, I think. And then another buddy of mine reached out to me. He's like, hey man, you know, one morning he was all fucked up. And like, it's like, what the hell you want, dude? Like, it's like 6 a.m, dude. He's like, I've seen your videos, you know. He's like, I want you to make a video about this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, dude, you know, this is fucking a tough, you know, it was about being like, you know, sexually abused as a young kid, you know. And he's telling me this shit. And it's like, I just woke up. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I was like, man, some of the shit would bother me. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't believe the messages I get. Like, some of the shit, like one kid, I talked about this before. One kid was in like a tribe or something, or a little community. I don't know what it was, but they put a spell on him and shit. He's like, dude, like, I'm like the, I don't know, what do they even call them people? In the community, like the whole community. Yeah, like the whole community hated him. I was like, he's like, how do I get out of this? I'm like, bro, like, I have no fucking idea. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how these villages work, bro. I live in a small town here. I don't know. I never been part of that. But yeah, it's just a lot of, so that with the page, and then so I would post like once or twice a day, and then I just wanted to get more and more as people would end their lives. And then I got the phone call like a month or two ago. It was my dad. My dad, he has a trach, right? So he has to use like a remote thing. Like, he don't have a button here or nothing, but he has like a little thing he holds up there and talks. And he called me because we usually just text. And he called me. I was like, what the fuck's he calling me for? And I was working 4 to noon that day because of a snowstorm. So he called, and then I was like, this ain't good. I answer, and he told me about Flint, his buddy from Vietnam. You know, it was him, Mike, and Flint. And they've been friends ever since. Well, Flint passed away a couple years ago. He's buried in Arlington, if you know what Arlington is. Yep. Arlington Cemetery down in D.C. is one buddy's buried in there. So anyway, Flint took his life, right? And my dad telling me this shit, and it was like I just busted in tears because it's like, holy hell, like, how do you deal with this? And, you know, my dad's seen so much death in his life, and now he's the last one left out of his. You know, there was 3 of them. You know, there's other guys too, but from his platoon and shit. But they were his best friends. You know, so then after that happened, I was like, man, I'm going to dive into this shit even more, you know. I'm sick of losing people. I mean, it might not help. It might help. So then I started doing lives more, you know what I mean? Like in the mornings, you know, and then it started helping me. So then I just stuck with it, you know. But yeah, dude, that's pretty much my story. Just like finding out why you feel the way you do. Oh, and then how I finally got on medicine. I kind of missed that part, but I was still playing football after high school. It was like flag football leagues, you know what I mean? Like some were real physical and some were just, you know, like backyard ball. But I remember being out in the field and like playing my position, and then before the ball was like, I just felt like open spaces for some reason give me anxiety. Like if you drop me off on a parking lot in the middle of the desert or somewhere like that, there's nothing around, like not even a tree to lean up against to. I'm gonna have
Wow.
anxiety, dude. You know what I mean? I don't know what that is about open spaces, but so
Um,
then I was like, "What's up?"
my wife deals with. I don't want to put her on the spot, but my wife deals with some of that exact same issue. Like wider spaces causes her
So weird.
anxiety, so she has to have like
Yeah, like
more closeness makes her feel more calm.
yeah,
That's
it's
very
weird. Like,
ironic you said that.
I don't like to be like claustrophobic either, but like I did an MRI.
Yeah.
If you ever did an MRI before, they're fucking terrible. But so then when that was happening, I felt I was gonna pass out on the field. What's that called there? I'm gonna write that down. What causes that? So yeah, felt I was gonna pass out on the field, right? So I was like, I can't do this every Saturday. Every Saturday, I love playing the sport. Every Saturday I go here, I feel like I'm gonna fucking faint. This is fucking terrible. So then I went to the doctor. I was telling him about it. He's like, "Yeah, man, it sounds like you have anxiety." And then before that, I mean, I've been to counseling. We've been to like marriage counseling. We've been to regular counseling on my own. So I did do that shit. You know, I got a little bit out of it, but I don't know. I think this is a lot better. But I wasn't doing this at the time. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I was always a hard worker, man. I always wanted to. I didn't want to rely on nobody. You know what I mean? I didn't want to ask anybody for shit. I was just
Mhm.
always like that. I'd rather just do it myself. I'm still like that to a point. Like I do these junk jobs, man. You're talking fucking. I don't know if you ever cleaned the whole house out by yourself, but it's not fun, right? It's 100 damn degrees out, and I used to do that. Just do it myself.
You talking
Trying
like
to rely on
hoarder houses or just
yeah, yeah,
abandoned
yeah.
houses?
Anyone like say you move and you have all this shit, or like say people like say people just hop like house hop, like from here to here. You'd be amazed what
Yeah.
people leave behind, dude. It's unbelievable. And yeah, man, or that or just shit like a garage clean out. I do all kinds, take sheds down, whatever. Yeah, I guess that's the medicine I'm on 8 for yeah, I'm on that medicine for that. A quick story about that MRI thing.
That,
The dude's like, "Hey, do you want medicine for this?" I was like, "No, I'll be good, dude. I should have took the medicine because it was shitty." But and then that's why I asked you the other day about ER visits. Like you ever been to the ER for your mental health? I mean, there's so many times where well, I don't know if so many times, but how many? Like 3 or 4 times I thought I was having a heart attack. So you go to the emergency room, you know what I mean? But you
that's
think you're having a heart attack, but it's just anxiety. I'm sure a lot of people that deal with anxiety have done that. But
well.
hey,
It sounds to me like you started talking about having like that, like that anxiety from the open spaces and all that, and then you have other moments where it's just like these crazy like thoughts you get stuck in. It sounds like my wife said agoraphobia, a fear of just wide open spaces, and
yeah,
then
it's
that could
weird.
cause like panic as well. And
Yeah, like
a lot of
bridges.
medications make that stuff worse though too. Like people look for help and they get on medicines and they believe it'll help them, and then it's makes things worse. I'm not against medicines, but I mean, there's a lot of script happy, physicians that get
Yeah, I
extra
agree with
money
you.
for all the scripts they write, just like treating drugs with more pills.
Um, and then another story about like how I got anxiety about bridges. So I'm 21 years old. I'm working on the highways now, and any road that's a state road I'm working on. So we're paving roads, we're doing all kinds of shit. But anyway, I remember we had to clean this drain off on this small bridge. I went over Route 30. Route 30 will take you to California, but so if you have a Route 30's here and you got a little bridge over top, right? So we're on there, and this dude brought the loader out, a front end loader. If you don't understand, you don't know what that is. It's the big machine that scoops shit up, right? So I'm standing on the bridge, and that thing weighs a lot. So he gets on the bridge, and the bridge starts moving. I'm like, what the
Ugh,
fuck? I never caught this before. You know what I mean? Like, why is this bridge moving? Obviously, they're
ugh,
built that way, right? They're
ugh.
supposed to move. So then I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So then we're like, all right, we got to go on Route 30 bridge and clean it. Now, this bridge is a mile long. It goes over the Susquehanna River, right? I'm thinking this is an old ass bridge. They built it after they torched it back in the day. It's a long story when they I don't know who did it exactly, but there's 3 bridges that go over the river that are close. One's really, really high, but this one on 30. So I'm out there walking this bridge, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? It's like 100 and some feet down. You know what I mean? Under the water. You're over the water. And like at this point, I know bridges move. So I'm like paranoid and shit. We had to clean them up. Oh, and then this is like my first year there, dude. And then they had to take this crane. So the bridge runs like this, right? And then the crane sits on the bridge, and you get in the bucket and you go underneath the bridge, right? And you had to spray the pigeon shit off the off the joints and shit, right? Because it was like deteriorating it. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing this, dude. I'm like, you have to fire me. You know, I can't even stand on the bridge, let alone get in this damn lift and go under the bridge and spread. No. So I don't know how I got out of it, but I did get out of it and I kept my job. But to this day, I mean, I still get like that going over bridges, dude. But yeah, that's where a lot of mine is anxiety that maybe leads to depression in the wintertime, you know. I think my mood changes a lot. But now that like if I come home and I'm in a bad mood and I run, that all goes away. You know what I mean? Like I'm not out there running miles and miles and miles, you know. I'll do like a mile and a half. Like this morning I just did a mile. Just something to get me. It's not about like the physical aspect of it, right? It's about my mental shit now. You know what I mean? Like I lifted weights on and off my whole life. You know, when you're younger, you know, you want to be whatever, but now it's just to get right. You know what I mean? I don't got to go in there and fucking sprint at 100 miles an hour. I'm not out to impress nobody anymore. I got to focus on my mental shit. You know what I mean? So if doing push-ups and running can get me to that point, that's what I got to do. Like, and there's so many times you come home from work pissed off and you end up arguing about something that like my wife had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to tell she asked me how my day goes and I get into it, but I'm like pissed off. So why is it her fault? So, you know, if I feel like that when I get home, I'll say what's up, whatever, and then I'll just run and then let all that shit out of you. You know what I mean? It's like flushing your mind. I don't know. I mean, it's different for everybody, but that kind of helps me, man. Or take a walk, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's where we're at now, dude. And the page is what it is now, and a lot of people involved. Yeah, who knows what will happen from here. But like when people say like I'm a good speaker and shit, and I was never like this, right? But I listen to a lot of fucking people that are way more intelligent than me. Like when I play them quotes, like that shit on them quotes, like that's what I love about the mind. That's what I love about life. That's what really intrigues me, dude. Like how to be better as a person. You know what I mean? Just better in this life. Because no one has the answers, right? No one has there's no book on how to live this life, right? But to dive in and listen to like the old fucking heads, like I really believe this world was way smarter at one point. Does that make sense? Like you want to get if you want to get into like the whole pyramid shits or whatever, like how they built all that. Like I don't think there was some kind of I don't know what I think, right? But I can tell you this. I think that people were way smarter. If you listen to what's the word, philosophers, right?
Yeah.
Like them people are so intelligent, dude. Like the way they looked at life is amazing to me.
I just always found it fascinating how a lot of these ancient temples, pyramids, statues, monuments in all these different sections of the world across bodies of oceans where all they had were boats, allegedly back then, all kind of resembled the same like structure and style and meticulousness, craftsmanship that I don't see people even being able to build today. And the thing about that is all the old structures, like in all the older cities in the 1800s and even 1900s, they're gone. Now they're just replacing all these buildings with square boxes, with square offices, and it's just like desensitizing everything. So I don't know how a lot of these things got made. They say by human hands with made up tools and chisels. And they're so precise, some of them, that they can't even slip. There's like not even a paper's width of light that shines through. Like you watch certain shows, and not to get into the alien stuff, but I'm like, how did these things get crafted with people that just hadn't no means back then? And where would they even come up with the ideas to build such elaborate and intricate monuments and statues and buildings? Like it just blows my mind. That's all I'm saying. So if they were that smart back then to think of that, right? And do it, it's amazing. It just always shows you that there's always been a higher power than ourselves. Because I don't think humans can get that, and inspired on their own. I mean, people could come up with great ideas and all this, and geniuses and Tesla and all this stuff, but they hardly ever like attribute themselves to coming up with their own ideas. It's kind of maddening, but I got a few questions for you, Trav, if you don't mind, man.
Yeah, it's my.
What's your opinion? Like, I was going to ask you about the COVID stuff, like what you did during that whole time, but that's a rabbit's hole, and I didn't want to like go back into the whole COVID thing. But briefly, like, I know it affected you to a certain extent. Maybe you knew some people that passed away and all this, and I don't want to talk about vaccines or all that, but when you were starting to page out and getting into, everything you're doing now, like, how did that affect your job? How did that affect your relationship? How'd you get through the COVID era that they're still trying to peddle today?
All right. The reason I put my headphones on, I can hear you better. It's my computer now, right? So
okay.
I can hear you through my phone because like you broke up there. So how the COVID for us in our job, if that's what you're asking, as far as family, like I was against it, right? I was against the whatever without getting into banned or whatever they do anymore. If they still do it. But yeah, definitely messed with people's mental health and messed. So I think I had 1 week off at work, but then it went by seniority, right? So they needed people in there, right? Because the roads, shit still happens to the roads. We get called, like if a tree branch falls down overnight, we got to go get it. Like if it's a state road, who else is going to get it? So roads still need maintained, potholes need fixed, blah, 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 blah. So I went down seniority and I worked through it all, dude. It was beautiful because there was nobody on the road, right? So it was a lot safer when it comes to that.
You're an essential worker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Still am today. But other than that, man, how'd it go with the page? I wasn't really doing any of this. I should have. I mean, hell, I probably would have reached a shit ton more people because everybody was on the internet. That's how music took off. They started them pages. That's how people got famous with their music. But as far as the whole thing, in my opinion, without getting into politics or whatever, which we can talk about politics, I don't care. I just don't want to offend people, man. I mean, it's my opinion, right?
Just wanted to do your story and then just some questions because everybody's going to have different opinions on everything. But
but for me,
just your thoughts and your.
I wasn't going to take something, right? I'm not taking a shot that just came out after a month or two of research. I'm not going to put that in my body. Dude. You can't fix the common cold. Now all of a sudden you got a cure, or not a cure, but you got a way to make it better. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying into it. I don't believe in big government. I don't need the government. Maybe if I was disabled or I couldn't work or I couldn't do my own thing for myself, I get why some people need them, but whose responsibility is it for our life? Right? Who's responsible? Who is responsible for me? At the end of the day, it's me. Right? Why should anybody be responsible for me besides myself? And that's how I look at that shit, right? And I'm not gonna just, everyone was so scared. It was like that shit fucked a lot of people up, man. Mentally, losing their jobs, like the suicide rate went up. Like they didn't care about that shit.
Having kids stay at home, the parents don't know how to teach them, can't keep them on the Zoom class. Right. It was the fear. Yeah. Here's my opinion. Then the most, I don't want to offend anybody either, but I mean, we're past that point. The biggest reality of the COVID era was the fear of it. They had a daily death tracker on TV. Like the only time people ever died daily by the minute was during COVID. Like you could have that death tracker on there anytime, but since they had the tracker up there in neon lights, it just made everybody more fearful. You got a cold and a sniffle. Oh my God, you got to go get in a bubble and get 7 jabs and everything else. And it was just ridiculous. 57 masks that just keep everything right there so you breathe it in. Every single thing they said was healthy and safety for us was the complete opposite. And you could prove that with science. Like I'm not wearing, if you want to wear the same pair of boxers for 20 days, you're probably going to have some issues there. So none of it made any sense at all. And everybody that could disprove the stuff that were some of the same acclaimed scientists and teachers and scholars. They're like, oh no, don't believe them. Just believe the ones we tell you to believe on the media. And it was horseshit from the beginning. But I mean, thoughts and prayers to everybody that's lost anybody from, the COVID or suicide or whatever. But man, it seemed to me like a mass experiment. And how the hell is anybody else supposed to be responsible for you if they don't know you? Like, you're telling me one jab or in 6 months from a new virus that nobody ever heard of, and in 6 months they got something. We still dealing with AIDS, cancer, and everything else, but they got you a cure all for that. So they're still trying to push it around. I still see people with masks on, and I mean, God bless them all. But if you're still at the point where you're driving around in a car by yourself with a mask on, you probably need this page. It's just, I don't believe in none of that. Now, here's a question for you. Has helping anybody in any way you would define as helping, anybody ever backfired on you? Meaning, like, if you would give advice or opinions or talk about certain things, and like, have you ever experienced a moment where somebody blamed you for, the help and the care that you had for people?
Oh no! See, I can hear you perfect on here. That's why it takes me a minute to No one has ever blamed me, but I'll be honest with you, man. And I said this before. There was a long stretch, dude, where I wouldn't even fucking read comments. You know what I mean?
It's understandable.
People would say, it's like, bro, are you serious right now? And like, people were like, oh, you don't even know what, like, or the famous comment, I get it every single day. It's easier said than done. Like, people, like, no disrespect, man. I am you. You know what I mean? I know it's easier said. You don't need to tell me that. I'm not saying this shit to say you're a joke and it's this easy. That's not what I'm trying to say. And not everything I post relates to me. Not everything I post is going to relate to you.
Well, that's the thing I'm saying is, it's like, oh, since Travis is on here, he's got his page and his followers. Well, he's got it all together. He has all the answers, and he's better than us because he's providing a platform and solutions and techniques. And so that's why I'm saying how sometimes the help that's honest and sincere, some people take that as like, well, he probably hasn't been through as much as me. What's he know? And he's not licensed or whatever. So I could have a page. And I mean, sometimes people just look to bite the hand that feeds and then complain that you ever extended it to them in the first place.
No, anyone can do this, man. I always say that. You got to be careful nowadays. That's another reason, I'll be honest with you, that I say I'm not a doctor, because what if something happens?
Yeah.
Something happens, they come, oh, this guy told me to do this. This guy told me this would work. Bro, this is just, and the reason I started saying that is because people would reach out to me and is like, hey, man, can I speak to somebody on the team? Can I speak to a team member? Can I speak to somebody on the team? I'm like, well, there's no fucking team here. Like, we're a team, but it's just me. You know what I mean? Like,
the chat's the team.
There's this ain't a doctor's office. There's no one else here. I mean, my wife helps me, but there's no one else here. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to understand that first and foremost. Like, this ain't a big organization. Like, I don't know. Like, and then the people get mad at me about some posts. It's like, well, if that post don't relate to you, man, just keep moving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need your negative feedback. Like, I deal with depression too. Like, so if you're going to tear me down for what I post, and when I'm just trying, it might not help you, but it might help somebody else. Like, just move on. Like, when you say hurtful shit like that, I mean, I shouldn't even bother me, right? It's just a comment.
Well, they're hurting.
Like,
misery loves company.
I love your opinion, right? And everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own beliefs. That's why I always say, like, everyone, and it probably sounds like I'm on repeat, but that's why I talk about not having kids, right? Because I'm not going to speak on something I don't know nothing about. I can give you my opinion, right? But I've never been like, what's her name this morning? She lost a son. I have no idea what that's like. But I know what it's like to be around bullies. I know what it's like to be impacted by something I know what it's going to be like for them kids seeing their dead friend. I know what it's like to be around people that are drug addicts, like her husband. You know what I mean? I know what it's like for a mom to raise kids by herself. You know, my mom did it for a while. So I know all that. I've been around that shit, but I'm not going to sit here and try to be something I'm not. You know what I mean?
I respect that more than probably anything because I speak to my wife a lot about that. You know, sometimes things will get brought up or asked of me, or situations I have only heard about and seen, but have never been in myself or lived through. So I'm not going to sit there and act authentically when I can't relate to the feelings or the experiences certain people went through. But if I can think of somebody that may be able to relate to them more, I'd like to point them in that right direction and at least not leave them hanging. But yeah, I mean, if you're not authentic in a lot of this, then it's really more detrimental. And that's what I kind of picked up from you from the very beginning, was like, oh, this guy's really authentic. He's going to give you his opinions, his thoughts, his feelings, his experiences, but he's not going to talk about shit that he hasn't been through. And I mean, I think it's rare these days because people just want clicks and likes and subscribes and do this and everything else. So they'll act any kind of certain way to fit, somebody's narrative that's reaching out, and they really have no idea what they're talking about. And that could lead them down a worse path than they're on. And I just think that's almost criminal, in my opinion. If you don't know, if I'm telling you something and ask for your opinion and you ain't lived it and have no idea, then just be like, man, I don't know. Sorry, you've been through that. Look here, look there. But anybody who just tries to make up stuff to suit somebody, it pisses me off. To be honest with you, I don't like none of that. But Travis, hey, I wanted to. One of the biggest things I was thinking of the other morning, I think you guys were talking about it on your page yesterday, were stigmas. And I seen you had a post a while back said fight the stigma or break the stigma or something like that. But that also leads into like the expectations, which I think, like I said, like if you have a dad that is gearing his son up to be a football player and go to a certain college he went to, or be a doctor, the son or the daughter's like, I'd rather just do this or do art or be a journalist or something. And then they get into school and they have higher expectations and they're like not fitting that in work and in relationships. All these expectations that get put on people, like some of them feel like they have to live up to every single one of them. They're a people pleaser, and that drains us. And like that's part of the stigma, is like, well, you got to do this or this to be this part of this class or to be this revered in society. And if you don't meet all those, if you aren't successful in all those people that you're taking on, I mean, that breaks your mental health down bad. That leads to anxiety and depression and suicidal and drug addiction and everything else. If people aren't setting their own expectations for themselves with realistic goals, they're setting themselves up for failure and a long road in the wrong direction. And I can't stand that stigmas are almost like praise these days. Just what's your opinions on just like unrealistic expectations that friends, family, coworkers, school, society puts on people? Then, when they're not met, usually spells disaster.
Well, like, so you're saying like the people in your life expect you to be something?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by expectations? Well, I mean,
Yeah, or
that's
even at work, at school, society, like they have certain, well, to do this and to move up and to do this and feel this way and to look this good, and like all these like magazine cover type of expectations, which a lot of kids fall prey to. Unrealistic ideas of like what makes a person worthy.
I think a lot of it's fake, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it's fake to begin with. Your expectations of me are not my expectations. See what I'm saying? I gotta have my own expectations for myself, right? What you expect out of me is none of my business, really. Just like your opinion or what you think about me is really none of my business. I gotta reach my own expectations, right? If I go to please you, then I'm not pleasing myself. You know what I mean? Now I'm doing things for you. When you do things for other people, what's that get you? Nothing. You're going to get fucked in the end. So I set my own expectations. I set my own dreams, my own goals, because dreams without goals are just dreams, right? Good old Denzel Washington. I love that quote. So yeah, when you try to please other people, you're gonna get smacked in the face, man. Because for one, when you get to that achievement they want you to be at, they might not be there no more, right? And who are they to dictate what you should be? You know, like growing up with four or five brothers, we all went our different ways in a sense. You know what I mean? We all like we all do similar work, but we have our own life and own stories to tell. You know what I mean? We have our own families, we have our own things. So everybody's different and unique, right? And to be like, I mean, you can aspire to be somebody, right? You can aspire to be like this. You can aspire to be an actor, go to the NFL, a doctor. But you know what kids inspire to be now? YouTubers, bro.
Yeah.
What do you aspire to be growing up?
TikTok.
Yeah, little Johnny, what do you want to be growing up? I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a, now everyone hates cops. Everyone hates this. It's a whole different society. Like kids, like I was at a party. The dude's a cop. He used to work with me. I'm not going to say his name and shit, but he used to work with me. And then he became a cop. And I was like, yo, that's cool, man. And his daughter is very intelligent. She's homeschooled. Very, very intelligent. And I couldn't believe how smart she was. You're playing this game. And I was like, what do you want to be when you get older? Because she's on that level, right? She's like 8 or 9, but you can have that conversation with her. And she said YouTuber. And I was like, wow. I didn't say nothing, I was like, oh, being, supportive and shit, because there is money in it, right? There is money in YouTube. But
Sure.
that's the society we're in now. And then when you think about society in general and you wonder why people ain't doing the jobs we did at our age, it's because you don't have to. Why would I go work at McDonald's when I can sit on the internet and make TikTok videos? When I can sell my feet? Like, I mean, this is the reality of our society. You don't need to leave your house for anything. You know what I mean?
I mean, plus a few years ago, they were paying people to stay home. Yeah. Everybody wanted to work from home and didn't even want to go back to work or to schools. But
back, like, I mean, people like our fathers, what our fathers and our grandfathers and their fathers did is going to be out the window, bro. All that old school fucking, and I don't want to get into like, but being a man, dude, just in general, bro. And I mean this from my heart. There ain't too many men. And I'm not saying me and you are any better of a man than anybody else, right? But to get up here and share your story and to be open about what it's like to be a man in this fucking world. But like, you look at your grandfather and you look at your fucking dad and you look at them guys, they were fucking men, dude. They were men. They were men. I don't care. I don't know how else to say it. We're losing that, dude.
Yeah.
We're losing it. And I don't really care about what anyone believes me or not, but look around, dude. All great nations. And this might offend you or somebody, but that the men turned to women and start wearing dresses. What happened? They collapsed. Yeah. Look it up. Look it up. You got to have that man. Like, I don't care if you're a transgender. I don't understand that. And that's your own. I think it's a mental health issue because you don't know who you are yourself. You know what I mean? I really believe that. We could dive into that because, I mean, it's something that I don't understand and it's something I don't think they understand. If you can't find your true self.
I don't think we're supposed to understand that. I think it's it's an individual mental health issue for these people that's looking to identify something else in society. He's told them, you got to get in and fit in somewhere. We'll embrace you. So this is it. And I don't want to understand it. To me, it goes against my values and what I believe in, and I wish them all well. And but didn't mean to interrupt you on that. But
no, but I really think like just to bring that up because my in-law's neighbor, I talked about this a little bit. She was a female, became a male, right? And then, well, not a male because that's not how this works. You can't change your DNA, right? So if you want, I don't care what you want to be, right? If you want today, you want to be a fucking dinosaur, be a dinosaur. Tomorrow, you want to be an apple, be an apple. I don't care what it is you want to be, right? I don't bother me as long as you're a good person to eat everybody else. You can be whatever you want. O'Sullivan, explain to me why not. So now I'm gonna explain to you why it is, in my opinion. So you know how hard it is to find yourself as a human, right? Even if you're comfortable in your own skin and you're comfortable being the sex you are. So it's hard enough to be happy with yourself, right? And then I'm just gonna bring this all to a point because this woman, which now was a man, whatever, I'll still call her a woman. And it's no disrespect, but
you obviously had underlying issues because now you're what you wanted to be, right? You wanted to be a man, right? You wanted this. This is where you're going to be happy. This was your happiest point in your life. You finally became what you wanted to become. And then you end your life. It's because you weren't happy with yourself to begin with. I can pick up everything and move to Alaska, move to California, move to wherever, Costa Rica, right? My mind and my body is going with me. Them issues aren't just leaving. They're going with me. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, you can put a cape on for the day. You can wear fucking makeup you can do whatever you want to do to mask your inner feelings, but it's not fixing them. I just don't know.
I don't. It kind of scares me that anybody would say it's not a.
I mean that's just.
I mean
my opinion.
that's my wife right there, Deb Robbins. I mean, she's the
Oh, that's your
brains
wife?
behind anything. That's what
I
she
didn't know
just
it was your
said.
wife.
Deborah Robbins. That's my wife. She just crushed it with that comment.
Let me read it.
She said, "Well, it's pushed. Men are bad now, toxic, and it's BS. We need men back like our fathers and grandfathers. Society from infrastructure to military, so many facets of society collapse without those men, and we are continuing to collapse on a global scale every day." She's 100% right. It wasn't even so much about being like really tough, masculine, overbearing men. It's just that they knew how to support, provide, and protect because they knew that that's what their identities were. Real men never had identity issues. They knew that they were to provide, protect, and support and build. Now it's just like the identity's gone out the window. Society says you could be anything you want to be. You could be a unicorn with boots on or whatever. And it just keeps pushing us because people need to feel like they're involved and fit in and a part of something. And it's just, here's how I could prove it's a mental health issue. When people are letting kids at 9 years old, 10, 12 years old, have sex surgery, that not only means it's a mental health issue, maybe not so much for the kid that is just being like, oh, I'm going through something, they want to be Superman, and by the time they're 15, something else. The parents that allow this stuff have more mental issues than the kids do. Because any sane person that would support their kid, even after the age of 18, but whatever, a young kid they support the kid's decision to play with dolls at 5 years old. So we're going to let him, cut his penis off and all this. They should be talked to and helped because it's just ridiculous. So for anybody that says it's not a mental health issue, I'm probably not the person you want to follow because you're never changing my mind on that. And I'm just saying that if it's not a mental health issue, then why are you needing to try to identify as something else other than man or woman? It's DNA. It's nothing else. Everything else is a deviation of what you think normal is. It's because you don't feel like a man or don't feel like a woman. You won't just work on that, and it's a mental and spiritual issue. It's not what somebody over here says, well, you can be whatever you are. They don't know you. It goes back to like saying you're not responsible for me. I'm not responsible for you. So your idea of who I should be shouldn't fit what I think I am. I had to find that out for myself. I mean, so it's scary. It is absolutely scary. In Canada, they're arresting parents for not allowing their kids to get sex surgeries and all this, and to even now kill themselves. This is where we're headed as a society, and in my opinion, it's because the more they remove God out of society and schools and the world and work and everything else, the less God we have, the more evil prevails. And that's just not my opinion. That's just what I've lived through and seen myself as a person who used to dabble in the satanic, evil, occult side of it. There's nothing there but depression, suicide, angst, regret, resentments, nothing. You're never going to have a fruitful life when you dabble in the evil side of everything. So sorry I went on a little rant there.
No, man, I appreciate your opinion. And
it's my opinion. It's my opinion. I'll say I shouldn't have said it's a fact. It's a fact to me, but I'm giving my opinion because that's
right. And
the way I live my life is based on what I believe. So
Solomon, back to this comment. Yeah, some do, right? Some do transition and some are happy, right?
Well, we can get into stats on that one.
But here's the thing, right? You can you can't be. It's hard. It's a hard discussion, right? Like I said, I don't want to offend anybody, and it is what it
I
is. You
don't-
can be whatever you
I
want.
don't either.
You can be whatever you
I'm
want.
definitely living and letting others live, because I think it's in their own
Right.
time they'll come to whatever conclusions they come to. But I know this: there 70s. I think it's, oh my gosh, I don't want to say a wrong stat, but people, kids, especially younger people that have had transsexual surgery, either 30 some 40%, or maybe even close to 70, end up regretting it later. They can't go back, and almost 40% have committed suicide or have tried to commit suicide. So if they're living happy lives after the trans surgery, that's a tough percentage to live by. I mean, if you were batting 140 in the major league in MLB, I think they'd set you back down to the minors, because that's not good enough. So it's just it's a tough one. But I don't think there's any positive spirits involved. There were positive energy involved in trying to change your sexual identity. If you're, penis, testicles, you're a male. If not, you're a female. And I get the transformation. I can't think of the word for it, but there's like problems with both, or having different, organs and stuff like that, or similar or the same. But that's medical stuff. But that's the last I'll say on it. I just pray for everybody to get to the point where they really understand who they are, how they were made, and get the best help they can get, but not make any decisions based on today's okayness of what you want to be.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, Solomon, you said, yeah, but this page is to promote mental health, right? All right. So you said we could have people in here with children, family members going through this issue. Well, we do.
trying
Maybe
to
we
help
do.
them.
That's fine. It's fine. I guarantee you, some people think like we think, some people don't. I mean,
Yeah.
why hide from the topic, right? We're not here to judge. I'm not judging anybody. I said multiple times, you can be whatever you want to be. I just might not agree with it. I'm not judging you at all. I just don't understand it. And I do kind of understand it, because you don't feel like you fit in your body, right? So you want to be a different sex, which is totally fine. That's up to, I don't think it's going to fix the problem. That's just my opinion on it. I'm not judging anyone, but I appreciate I'm not here to judge nobody. I'm not God. I think it's more a mental. I think it's a mental, right? I do. I mean, again, I never been through it, so I don't know. But you can't. There's certain things you can and can't change, right? And I mean, how? Okay, so I just want to talk about this a little bit more, because it frustrates me here, because you can't have they, them, that, blah blah blah. That shit don't work. It don't work. How can you believe these same people believe in science and believe that the Big Bang happened? How can you believe in the Big Bang and believe in man and woman, right? I get pissed off about this. How can you believe in something and then turn around and be two-faced and fucking be a hypocrite? You can't believe it. You can't have it both ways. You can't believe in fucking science over God and believe that there's male and female, right? And diminish God, and then believe that you can be any fucking sex you want and change it. It don't work that way. That's not how this works in life. You believe in one or the other. Maybe a little of the both. You cannot change your DNA. There's no argument there. There's no argument at all. You can't argue it. You can pretend to be whatever you want.
I am open about it. I mean, I'm not judging. I'm just stating facts. You're born male or you're born female, or there's some, problems with, birth and everything. It's not judgment. It's just not judgment. And it's also a fact that it's a mental health issue. If it's not a mental health issue, then why would anybody have the thoughts that they're not who they were born as? So it starts mentally. That on the basis right there is on its face a mental health issue. If a male is a male at 7 years old, and then at 12 years old they feel like they're a woman, there's some mental stuff going on. That's where the thinking comes from. So they have to talk about that. But it's the doctors and therapists and everybody else and medical establishment that promotes all this, because there's money in it. There's money in the trans surgery and the programs and the pills and the treatments. A lot of doctors and therapists don't care. And then society's okay with that. Then they get like 20 followers on TikTok because they came out as transgender today. So then they got a bunch of following. It's the decaying of morals in the society. And then if you buy into that, you're like, I'm okay with this. it's a mental health issue. That's all I'm saying. It's not a judgment. It's just, where else does the thoughts come from? Where does the identity crisis come from? But the minds,
Yeah.
which is mental.
Oh,
So
Sullivan, you got to
I'm
remember
not
too,
judging I'm not judging anybody. I'm just stating what I firmly believe. Like, it's not
No.
something I even care to debate and maybe shouldn't have brought up, but
no, man.
you know, that's all I'll say
This-
on it, Trey.
This is the deal. This is our life we live in, and I'll talk about any topic. But the reason I stay away from it is, or I try to stay away from it, but it's very important because this does. Okay, so let's say it's not mental health, right? Let's just take that out of the equation. At some point, all right, my in-law's neighbor took her life. Okay, she's no longer with us. She was a trans woman or man. I don't know how it goes, right? She was a woman, born a woman, became a man, or whatever you want to say, however you want to put it. She is no longer with us. Okay. She took her life. So something wasn't right. I may not agree with doing it, but I still, let me tell you something. Her taking her life fucked me up. It's not like I just like, oh, this lady I don't agree with. There's man, she lived right down the street. I just seen her a couple weeks prior to this. Okay. So don't take this the wrong way. They're still humans and they still matter. We're not here.
Yep.
I'm not here anyway. I'll speak for myself. I'm not here to put anyone down or judge anybody, right? Because I wish she was still alive or he was still alive. I'm not here to diminish anybody and stop anybody from being what they want to be. But obviously there was underlying issues, right? Obviously you finally got to the point you wanted to be. She had a beard now. She had hairy legs. She looked like a man. So now it pisses me off because now you're at the point you always wanted to be and you're still not happy. Why? Because there's other fucking issues, man. There's other issues. I'm not saying every transgender person's like this, but there's other issues.
Yeah.
Right. So she becomes a man. Now get the help you need. That's fine. I'm fine with you being a man now, or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. I'm fine with that. I don't care. It's your life to live. You're not bothering me. Okay. You have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But you obviously didn't work on your mental health. There's obviously another issue. Obviously another issue. I mean, you can't deny that. You can't deny it. How can you get to the point where you always wanted to be? You always felt this way. I felt this way so bad that I felt like a man. I'm finally a man, and boom, you still take your life. There's other lying issues. And here's the thing. Instead of addressing it as a parent or a friend saying, hey, man, do you really want to do this? And plus the hormones you're on. They're not good. I forgot all about that. You're not supposed to grow a beard. You're not supposed to grow a beard. Now you're growing a beard. You don't think that fucks with them? Come on, people. And you got to remember, me and Travis, I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but I'm 99.9%, but he believes in God, right? And we believe in God, and that's just how we are. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge or get anyone pissed off, but you can't take hormone. How are you when you're pregnant? Right? That body's supposed to have kids, right? And now
it's
you're
built
taking
that way.
to become a man. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know what fucking medicine does.
Well, yeah, men are having, biological men are having babies now. So if you don't think there's some mental stuff wrong with that. But even further, I didn't even mention this, above the mental part of it, which is it's not really my opinion. I don't know if I have to say it's my opinion. I just think it is a mental issue. It's where it starts anyway. Above that, it's a spiritual issue or lacking of. Because if one is really in tune with their higher power, they're gonna know and believe in the story of Adam and Eve and so forth and so on. So I think the lacking of faith and that connection with God or Jesus and biblical facts, in my opinion, that leads to the mental health or the not having confidence in yourself, your insecurities, which leads to the identity crisis. And then they see a crowd over here, a crowd over there that's welcoming them in with their flaws and their beautiful faults and everything. And it's like rewarding wrong behavior and thinking. It's a spiritual defect that leads to a mental issue, which leads to identity crisis, which leads to hormones and testosterone and estrogen and men having babies and the far away from God. That's the last I'll say on that. I don't want to offend anybody else because I do love everybody. We're all God's children, in my opinion. But some of us are far removed from Him and the teachings. And in the end, I hope everybody understands that. Maybe that solar eclipse will kind of wipe everything the way it's supposed to be, one way or another. But I love this stuff. I love getting into it. You know, I don't try to offend anybody, but I do stand on what I believe.
Yeah. So I mean, how can we be transparent, and how can I be my true self if I'm not going to speak my mind on whatever the topic is? Right now, you can agree or disagree. I'm not here to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm not here for anyone to get pissed off. Like I know Sullivan's been a great person in my life on this page, and I know she has different opinions, which is fine. We're not trying to judge. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I don't think Travis either. It's just the way we stand and what we believe in. You can't have it both ways, right? You can't believe in God and then think there's 18 different sexes. Okay, here's another question. How come this now just started? Why didn't this happen in the 80s? Why didn't this happen in the 90s, early 2000s?
I do have an opinion on that, but not to get too far into the God biblical thing, but I don't know when Jesus is coming back, but every day that passes, we're one day closer. And I think the devil knows that. The devil's already lost, and he's in a hurry. And anytime that he can get in to like encourage people to think away from our Creator, to help them find people and places and pages and programs and communities that, you know, encourage and support their wrong thinking, their lacking of that spirituality and that faith, and build that faith in the opposite direction. I think the devil loves that. He will help anybody get what they want, but he never gives them what they need. And then, like a lot of people, especially having these trans surgeries and all this stuff, when they get what they want, they find out, oh my God, nah, it's not what I wanted. I definitely don't have what I need. So the devil's in a hurry, and I think that's why everything is collapsing. Morals and values. It's trendy to be anti-God these days, and that's scary to me, because that's the only reason I'm still here. So
I love that point you said there. Kim, I'll address this in a minute, but when you said you get what you want, you realize it's not what you wanted, right? Because in life, in life you shouldn't try to get what you want. You got to get what you need, right?
Yeah.
It's not about what you want in life. It's about what you need sometimes.
Well, how many relationships have we changed? How many jobs have we changed? How many times have we moved? How many different foods have we stopped eating?
Get what you need.
I mean, it's so many. Your mind changes on things. So to make such a permanent, can't go back decision at such a certain age, it's crazy to me. Like I said, I once was pretty much like into Satanism and thought that was the way to go, and I was firm in that. You couldn't have talked me out of it at the time. Years went by, and I was like, wow, that's not where I needed to be. So everybody is still having these thoughts and stuff of like, well, this is who I am, and I know I'm a man, but I was made a woman, whatever, or even belong to certain political parties and all this other crap, man. If you take all that away and just find out who you really are, besides all that, besides anybody's opinions of what society thinks or what a page says or what Travis says or anybody else or a politician, that is when you get in tune with who you really are and who you're supposed to become. Just for yourself, not for anybody else's standards or expectations, but just knowing that somebody that you oppose or disagree with or think that's judging you is still on your side because they love you, and they'll be there for you no matter what to help you. But if they speak, like I was saying earlier, speak falsities and lies and make up stuff just to fit, to not lose a subscriber or to get somebody, a hateful comment or something, they're doing you a disservice. God is for me, so nobody can be against me. So that means I am required and obligated to tell the truth as I see it and believe it. And I'm growing further and deeper into my faith every day. I'm not perfect by no means. There's many things I've changed my mind on, but I don't use other people or society or political stances or anything to change my mind. I'm like, what's in the Bible? What's the word say? What's God's opinion of me? What's he want me to be? He created me. A big bang didn't create me. So that's where I take everything else apart and set it aside. And I'm just like, what's God think? And you know, if I never got to that point in my life, I mean, we wouldn't even be having this conversation today. So that's what's worked for me. And
Right.
in the end, I'll hedge my bets that God's real. I'd better take my chances on him being real than thinking that he's not and pay the ultimate price.
O'Sullivan, yeah, I don't mean to get you upset. If you want to come up here and speak, I would love it because I appreciate what you do here and coming here. I don't think any of us are saying God don't love you because you're a transgender or you're confused about your sex. Like that's not what we're trying to say here. We can't judge God or judge who he loves and who he don't. He loves everybody, right? He created you. I don't want people to get, that's why I don't like talking about this shit, because this is what it turns into. It's not,
I mean, sometimes the people that, you know, say other people are judging them are really just kind of judging themselves to a certain point. I'm not saying my life is any better than anybody else's or Miss Sullivan's there or anybody else who disagrees with me. It's just that I don't know how to soften it. Like I do listen to my wife sometimes when she says it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But if
I don't think
there's
we're
no
being rude about
substance
this
to
at
what
all.
you say, it's not worth saying. So I mean, I try to do it as respectfully as I can. It's a tough subject and topic, but there needs to be more of this discussion in this country because we've shut up and been silenced for so many years. That's why we're at this point.
But like what Kim says here, I do agree with Kim. I wanted to address this. It's true. You are right about this.
100%. Yeah.
It's like being gay. Like it was like people were scared, just like mental health, right? It's just like mental health. Like people didn't talk about mental health because they were ashamed. People didn't talk about being gay because they were ashamed. People didn't want to do that because back in the day they'd be thrown in a damn asylum. You know what I mean?
Stigmas.
So I do agree with you 100%.
That's the stigma. Don't talk about this. You know, don't cry, tough men. You got to be tough. You got to do this. You got to do this. It's any kind of thing that looks like weakness is really strength. I mean, to shed some tears now and then and to still be who you are, that's strengthening. I mean, hell, if everybody's walking around strong and confident in themselves in this country, everybody would be fine. So, you know, holding on to what's really hurting us inside is like the weakest thing anybody can do. I mean, I encourage everybody to like engage with other people, even if you think you're going to be like the one person out of 50 that has a certain opinion. You know, maybe it'll change, but I mean, we got to evolve. I mean, if I was still thinking the way I thought back when I was 25, oh man, ugh. So yeah, I appreciate everybody who's got different opinions and different views. You know, it's just that's where faith comes in. I'm surprised so many people don't. Because I don't want to touch that one. That's when a snake known as Satan came slithering along and gave Eve what she wanted. That's why God's free will.
I mean, we can talk about this a little more, you know, but why not anymore? Yeah, I'm not trying. If I'm coming off like I'm judging somebody, I apologize. I'm not judging anybody. I don't think. I mean, I'm trying to understand it myself. I mean, it is what it is. We can change the topic.
It's a touchy subject.
I respect everyone's opinion, bro. I'm not going to sit here and argue with anybody about this. I mean, if we can't have an open conversation about what our society and what's going on in our society and not do it without being offended, then we have our own issues, right? As a person. Yeah, we're not here to. I'm not here to make a believer out of anybody. That's on you.
Yeah, me neither. I firmly believe in what I believe in. You know, I'll stop it at that. But
I can't have somebody up there and be like, oh no, you can't. Don't be your true self. You know what I mean? Don't say what you're like that. That's going against everything I believe in. So I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, people do get offended, man, and I respect everyone's opinion. Maybe I don't understand it 100%. Well, I don't, I guess. But I'm not here to like belittle anybody. I mean, it is what it is. It's your life to live. I mean,
yeah,
I'll respect you for whatever. But I'm not going to sit here. You're not going to sit here and tell me, you're now you're now a fucking man, dude. It's not working. It's not gonna ever happen to me unless you can change your DNA. I'll agree with you. Until then, do whatever you got to do to be happy. That's all I agree with. That's all I got to say to you. I mean, I'm not here. I'll still respect you. I don't give a fuck what who you lay in bed with at night. That's none of my business. I'm not laying there. I don't care. Right? I don't care about that. You can be whatever you want. Like I said before we got in this conversation, we said you can be Superman today. You can be Batman tomorrow. You can be whatever. You can be whatever you want to be. It doesn't mean you're that. You can pretend to be whatever you want, right?
At the end of the day, people got to travel their own roads. I mean, that's on them. I love and respect everybody, because I come from the point of everyone that I see, even if I think they're my enemy or I don't like them, they're God's children. That's where I'm coming from. So I'm judging the fact that every person I see that's a human being is God's child, and I'm supposed to love each and every one of them. But I don't know how I'm supposed to love people without letting them know what I believe the truth is. And I could do it as delicately as I can, but it's a very touchy and hard, tough subject. And people that get offended a lot and quickly are those who I just think need to try to strengthen their faith a little bit more, or just follow their passions. But scientifically speaking, I can't support transgenderism or parents that back it up. Travis, that's the last thing I'm going to say on that issue.
Yeah, we'll move on. We'll end it there. But see a lot of people who do understand, right? Like me and Katie, we don't see eye to eye every time we talk about something. But there's no hard feelings, right? Kim understands. Right. I mean, Hammer, Brian. I mean, Brian has his own thing here. Sorry to say it, but you have no faith in God or whatever, I'll say one more thing about this too. When if you just, I mean, this is how life is, dude. I'm not trying to be rude or anything or disrespectful to anybody, right? But this is how it is. For me to get right, I had to put the fucking work in, right? You think I wanted to get up this morning, and do what I did every day? You think I want to do that? It's uncomfortable, right? It fucking sucks sometimes. My fucking knees hurt. My legs hurt. I go to sleep and my fucking legs hurt so bad from running, but I got to do it to get fucking right. So you can blame this on whoever. You can blame your situation. And Brian, I'm not coming at you. This is my opinion, bro. You can blame your situation on anybody you like, but at the end of the day, who is held accountable, right, for our actions and what we do? Now, your health problems, that's not your fault, right? So are some health problems our fault because we didn't take care of ourselves? Yes. But to blame God or anybody for what you're going through, I just don't feel that's right. I mean,
you can't blame God if you don't believe in him.
But I believe, Brian, I do believe a lot of people, and that's where the faith comes in, right? That's where your faith comes in, It's sad, right? But let's just move on. We'll move on. But I appreciate all the open honesty. Like Kim don't care. Kim will say what Kim wants to say. Hammer will. All you guys.
Yeah.
Do. And I respect that, dude.
I'm 100% with that.
I'm not here to control anybody. This ain't a cult. You're not. You drink the Kool-Aid or you're a joke. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. This is what we need, dude. This is what we need in life. This is what we need to understand each other.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, anybody who thinks I'm crazy or doesn't believe in God, I don't care if you believe in God or not. I do. I'm standing before him when it's done. But I know I'll help anybody on here if I can. Because I mean, we're talking mental illness and spiritual and suicidal, awareness. So, but like I say, it plays a part in it, and I'll be for anybody.
Here's the thing, bro. We don't come up here, and I stared away from it, but I know God got you through what you were going through, bro. And now who the fuck am I to sit here and be like, you're not going to talk about that. You're not going to tell me. That's your testimony, bro. That's your life. That's what happened. That's what got you to where you are. And for me to sit here,
unfortunate.
Me to say, Trav, no, man, you're not going to talk about that on here because you might upset somebody. Fuck that, dude. That's your story. That's how you got there. And that's why I don't mind. I feel comfortable talking with you because you're open about it. And it's just not like we're not up here preaching to people. We're not telling people you got to do what I did and look where I got. You know what I mean? It's not about that. It's not about, everyone has their own path. And what you choose to believe in and what you choose to do is up to you. This is
Yeah.
just the way we think, you know?
Free country, free will. And I
But for
support
me to-
anybody who exercises that. Don't just go along with the herd. Find out where the herd's
Yeah.
going to see if that's where you want to go.
But for me to stand up here and be like, no, Trav, I'd rather you please don't talk about that. Like, that's why I was more open about it today, because like if you heard his story and that's what got him to where he is. So how in the fuck who am I to be like, no, dude, please don't talk about that on this page. I don't even want to know half your story. Fuck that. That's not how this works, man. You know what I mean?
I used to get
he's a
so
good dude. It's
offended.
not like he's just up here preaching God.
You know,
And if
you know the
he
funny,
you know?
the ironic thing about that is I used to look to get offended because I didn't have any substance or context to my life. So I would get offended real easily. I didn't have anything to stand on. Now that I got a lot to stand on, which is the word, which is God, which is my faith, I get attacked a lot more regularly, but I don't mind it because I'm not in that same mindset anymore where I would just argue to argue for argue's sake. Or I would say people are being offensive or judgmental or this and that and the other when they couldn't really explain why. So it's not even a debate issue. Like there's no debating the God issue. Either somebody believes or they don't, and they get asked why they believe and they say it. And then people are like, well, I don't believe in that, and you're wrong, or there is no God. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't take you with me anyway, and you can't take me with you. So I encourage people to speak from their experiences and their honesty, whether it's the complete opposite of what we think or not. Speak on it. We ain't going to get anywhere if people don't honestly speak. It's not about disagreeing or whatever. I'm not trying to make nobody a believer. Your faith isn't going to help me, or lack of. It's just, at the end of the day, I'll support anybody I come in contact with for whatever I can help them with. Doesn't matter if they're. I talk to two guys that are friends of mine that are pretty much lukewarm Satanists every day on Messenger, every day on Facebook. We get along great. So, and they're two of my favorite people because they're honest about what they believe in and why. They talk against God, and that doesn't bother me. I'm firm. So you're not going to offend somebody who's firm in their faith. The people that get offended really easily, I could be the opposite. So I care about everybody. This is a tough topic today and subject we got into. I probably won't be invited back on anymore, but
No, bro,
that's
I loved
okay.
it. I love it, man.
I love everybody at the end of the day. I'm just trying to learn how to love them a little bit better as I learn to love myself.
No, I mean, I think it's a great topic to have. I think it's a great discussion to have. I mean, this is our lives, right?
Yeah.
You can't half-ass it here. I guess we could, right? But we're not gonna. I'm not gonna. And if people can't respect me for me, I mean, that's pretty sad to begin with. I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm just here to help the next person. I'm just a regular fucking dude like you and like everybody else. I mean, some of these people might be, I don't know what these people are. I know some about their lives, you know what I mean? What they share with me. The rest they either want to share or they don't. I mean, I'm not here to make you something you don't want to be. Just respect me. I respect you. If we disagree, we disagree. We move on. It is what it is. I mean, we're here to, if you can't listen to my opinion about something, what kind of person are you? You know what I mean? That's why society is the way it is, because you can't talk without hurting feelings. Look at the internet, dude. This is how it is. Like, everyone gets so hurt when that's not what we're trying to do here. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm not trying to, but when it comes to feelings, they're just feelings. That's just what they are. So you'll get over it. You know what I mean? We'll get over it. How many times have your feelings been hurt in your life? It is what it is, man. Whatever, right? What else you got?
Oh man,
that was a good
one. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what's your biggest hope moving forward? Like, I mean, I don't see you ending this page or deleting it anytime soon. Just what's your biggest hope for the future, for society as a whole? Like, where would you want to see this page and all the content and everything that you put into it every day? Where do you hope that leads, or do you just let it flow?
Yeah, like, remember, like, when you messaged me. Well, my first hope is this internet gets better, so I'm gonna do this. But but like, when you messaged me, man, and then you're like, hey man, you want to talk about some things, what we're gonna do? I was like, no, bro, let's just fucking go with it. You know what I mean? I think it's so much more raw. I think it's so much more authentic. I think it's so much I don't know, like, because I tried to plan shit before and you just go, you know what I mean? Like, look at this conversation we're having. We've been doing this you probably been there. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. You probably been there for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
And it's just it's a beautiful thing, dude.
It almost
Like,
didn't happen. I couldn't figure out how to join you
Yeah,
and
and
this and that and the other, but I just
I don't
kept
wanna
at it
be
and kept calling.
And to be totally honest with you, man, if you wanted this on your page, that's what I wanted to do. But I don't know how. Next time, I'll have to copy the link and do that. But you're on your page now, right?
Yeah. Well, the way I've been doing it, no, I'm on the. I don't think so. I'm just doing the StreamYard with you,
can
but
share this, you can
how
share
I,
this to your page. Bro.
I can, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you're part of the group too, so you could just post it up there yourself. But I just
No,
I was
right
gonna
now,
just-
right now, you should be able to be on your page too.
Yeah. I'm
Because
afraid to
I,
hit any buttons. That's why I need a tech
Like,
person. I tried to
I,
do it earlier to live stream it on the group page, but I got lost and I had to come back on here.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, because I paid for this, so it should be able to do that. But anyway, back to your question about where I see the page in the future or whatever in my future. Well, hopefully having conversations like this, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind getting up here and talking, but she shared it at the beginning. But
Decent.
like I want more people to come up here. You know, like when Al-Salam was up here, like I didn't want her to leave. Like I mean, me and you can still have dialogue with people up here. You don't even have to have your camera on. Just the more people talking, the better the conversation gets, right? The more we realize how that person's life is. You know, you can share as much as you want. I never thought I'd be up talking on a live chat for 2 hours and 20 minutes, but bro, when I get off of here, I'm at peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I enjoy your company, to be honest with you, man, because we are kind of the same person, you know, and your story is a hell of a story. You know, we both had, you know, rough upbringings, you know, it's, you know, separate, you know, we both dealt with mental illness. But we're both here to share our story, right? And how can you not be Keith, I can have 10 people up here, bro. That's what I'm saying. There's like, I pay for this shit, so let's use it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, just on my little
Yeah.
Facebook group, I was talking to Deb last night. I'm like, you know, I want more engagement. I want people not just to see memes and stuff, but to like post,
Yeah, right.
you know, what's on their hearts and minds for whatever day. And I get why some people don't. They're hesitant. There comes trust issues and backlash from different opinions and all that stuff. But man, there's no possibility to grow if you ain't willing to get uncomfortable. And I wish I could like preface everything by saying, like, you know, we might talk about something I completely disagree with you on, and I'll explain why and my standpoint on that. But that doesn't mean that I won't come have some coffee with you. I mean, sometimes people, like, how many times have guys fought in bars, knocked each other out, and become best friends? For a minute, they really disagree with each other. But you can't relate and connect with somebody unless you're willing to go through some differences of opinion. Otherwise, we're just all floating out there, man, and just going with whatever feels good. It's not about feelings aren't an identity. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. And I just wish, you know, that's why I love this page so much. It's because there's so much engagement and comments, and just, I was telling Deb the other day, I'm like, this is this kind of stuff I want, you know, but at the same time, I can't just rely on it. I want to educate myself, get more spiritually sound, and, you know, not rely on just comments and other people's opinions, but just strengthen what I'm doing. And I can't thank you enough, man. I'm glad I found you. I'll probably just keep bugging you for years.
No, bro. I mean, like, we both believe in God, and God puts us in situations to. I mean, this happens for a reason, bro.
That's exactly what I feel this is.
I've always been like that in my life, with everything.
And we're both named Trav. I mean, it's crazy. It's like TNT.
Yeah, no, that's weird too, right?
TNT podcast.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I have for you, man. I just love talking about all this stuff. What else you got, Trav?
I was just looking at the time. I forget what time we had to leave. I got at least 30 minutes probably. About my story, I think that's pretty much. I probably forgot some in there, but other than that, no, but I love this shit, dude. I love having someone else that's willing to just be themselves, right? Like, I've been around fake people a lot in my life, and that's why people that are true don't have a lot of friends, bro. Because It's just how it is. The faker you are, the bigger your crowd is, man. That's the way life is, and it's a shame because when you're true and but you got to be able to take it too. You know what I mean? Like if you're truthful to somebody, like, hey man, you're acting like a dick or whatever, and they say it back to you, you got to be willing to accept that. A lot of times in my life, I couldn't accept that. Right? I always fought that. You know what I mean? I fought that. Like, what are you talking about, dude? But now when I really think about myself and like you get rid of your ego, it's a whole different ballgame. But when you coming up here and talking to people, it's truly amazing because it's just way better, dude. It's just way better to have conversation. You know what I mean? That's the problem. We don't conversate. And then like, who am I to tell you not to be your true self when that's what we need more. We need this. We need people to come up here and talk. You don't even have to have the camera on, right? We can talk about whatever you want. It don't even have to be all about mental health. It can be about anything. This we are humans, right? We deal with different shit every day. I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to our health and mental health, right? But I mean, we're living a life, dude. We're affected every day with different shit. Just why not talk about it?
Yeah, there was I for my Facebook live thing in the group. There's always a live chat you can attach to the live stream, and I haven't had a lot of people go in there or whatever yet. But a lady did last night for the one the event I created for you and me, and it was just a random comment from this lady about how her daughter had committed suicide. And, she was really struggling with that, but trying to come to terms with it. And, the grief was, heavier at certain times and all this, and just real and honest with it. And it's so brave. Like, it's such imagine losing a daughter to suicide. And I can't remember everything she put in there exactly. That's her details, but it's in the chat she put it. But it's such a weakening, take us to our knees moment. But when if you could find the strength to share that just openly for whoever, especially on a public platform, you're taking that strength back that it holds over you. Losing somebody, losing anything, the grief, if you could share that out honestly, you get stronger because of it. It's not the things that kill us, that's how they make us stronger. But all the shit we keep inside, we don't share grief because we look weak and all this stuff. And I don't want to talk about how I was a dirtbag and deceived the person I claimed to love the most and did all this bad stuff. I did it all, so it's just like, if I was willing to be such the opposite of how I feel I am now, then I wouldn't be getting anywhere. Like, I can't edit the details of my life just to fit in somewhere where I probably don't belong anyway. But that's what I'm after, because the more people that share their honest hurts and their pain and their struggles and they're honest about it, it's so strengthening. I mean, it's so strengthening to me. And I think of, a certain somebody who went through the ultimate pain and sacrifice for us all. So any pain that people's feeling, I mean, I respect, and I can't imagine on some levels, like you talked about, like you don't know what's the kid's issue and you don't speak on things you haven't experienced, but I can't fathom that any person's pain, abuse, torment, whatever could ever be worse than my Savior Jesus. And if they're just willing to talk about that, and it's hard to trust, but it's empowering. And it's freedom. And that's all I'm after. Because I lived such a fake, phony, bullshit life that I found that, like, giving all that up and being like, well, this is how everything is. This is the reality of it. It's empowering and it's freeing. I don't get offended so easily. I don't feel guilt stricken or shamed or nothing. And I'm like, I can relate to you, share your story with me, because I guarantee you I can relate to it. I've been through something similar. And if I haven't, I know somebody who has. And that's the only way to grow. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe in God or whatever, or if you're transgender or gay. I don't care about none of that. We're God's children. That's how I come back to it. And I'm like, I care about you. I'll find something about you that I can care and relate on, and we go from there. But it takes courage to let that weakness go and grow into strength. And that's why I love this page and I love your platform. And every member that's on here, I mean, I wish them the best every day.
Yeah, I went to about your page and shit. One thing I used to do, man, and it'll eat up you when you look at the numbers and shit. You know what I mean? I'm just being brutally honest, dude. Because you gotta remember, I've been doing this for 7 years, right?
Yeah.
And I used to get so frustrated. Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm trying to make a difference, and no one's like, I tell them, it will eat you up, dude. I'm telling you. When you're trying to make a difference, and you just feel like that's all I'm trying to do here is make a difference, right? And you look at this shit where people will post something so dumb, and then you get like blows up, but it's like you're over here trying to make a difference. You change your life around. You're trying to better someone else's life. You've been through it. You're just trying to do your part, right? And the competition is unbelievable, right? There's so many people out there posting shit. Maybe not doing what you're doing, but just anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
funny shit or whatever. So then I used to get so frustrated. Like, what? I'm just trying to make a difference. Like, no one gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
But if I sat up here and I you know, fucking roll down my driveway and hit the mailbox, everyone would love it. You know what I mean? Or I fucking wrecked my car into a tree. You know what I mean? Or the dumbest. Or I posted what I had for dinner last night. You know what I mean? I used to get so frustrated with it, but then I know everything. It will come together, bro. If you keep grinding, like just anything in life, man. I wanted to tell you about that because I know how it can be frustrating.
Yeah,
but it
is.
will come.
It is
Dude.
at times. There's a certain somebody. I won't mention their name, but they have a live show every night here in town and stuff. And I would see comment like 400 comments and 16 shares, and I'm like, what? And all the dude does is just kind of smoke weed and wears tie-dye shirts and talks about whatever. But he's got so much engagement. I'm like, how in the hell? You know,
Yeah.
but and he says he struggles with certain things and weight issues and all this and on the other. I'm like, how can I have that engagement? But he's not even in my group, but I want the same thing and talking about more serious things, I would say, quote unquote. But yeah, like I'm not trying, that's not a jealousy thing. It's just that like, but I think it
never
takes,
get like
it takes time, and you know, I'll just continue to
Oh,
do what
yeah.
I'm doing. I look for influences like yours. I mean, so it's not going to throw me off my game. It's just that I'm in this for the long haul. So whether I
Yeah.
have 6 and 6 of views or thousands or 200,000 members like you have, I mean, it's just, if I stop being honest, it ain't worth nothing.
Yeah, that's one thing. We got the same kind of personality, so I wanted to address that with
Yeah,
you
I've
because
noticed that.
I've been down there. I've been down that road, dude, and it's not you're not looking for the fame. You're just looking for an understanding, right? You're just trying to help people. Whatever it will come, right? The right people will come. You know what I mean? Just patience is a virtue. You know, I don't have them.
Well, I mean,
But
doing this, you know, brought me to
it'll
you and
come,
your
dude.
page, and I mean, so I'm
Yeah.
grateful. I don't say I'm grateful just to say I'm grateful. I mean, I appreciate it. You know, and anytime I could be a part of anything, you know, with you, I'll jump on if I got the time. It helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm gonna start doing more in the evening. So whenever, hey, you're welcome, dude. You could be up here anytime I'm live, and this goes for anybody, and you want to come up on it, ask for the link and come up. I don't need to be up here myself. I don't even need to be on the damn show. You know what I mean? Or whatever you want to call it. I call it a podcast because, I mean, I don't know what the definition of a podcast is, but I don't
Me,
like
I've
saying
never
I'm
learned that
live.
either. I don't know either. I just say live discussion.
Man, I'll start calling it a broadcast. But it's about everybody. I mean, this is like when I was trying to get in touch with you, I was like, "Oh, Sullivan, just take over." You know what I mean? You might not have seen that, but I was trying
No,
to figure out what was going on with you because I can't figure out how to. Were you on StreamYard earlier?
no. I mean, for a minute there, and then I sent the link and I put it on your chat
Yeah,
for
I
your
couldn't.
live page, but it's unclickable. It won't do nothing.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
just like with the group page. But if I send it like on just a regular comment after your stream's ended or to you in Messenger, then it's good. But yeah, I was just going live on my phone to where I sent an invite to you on your phone, and I thought you'd have your phone and your laptop.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're using, so that way it would just record both of us and have it on separate things. But
Yeah, so StreamYard is like a
we can do
third
it another
party, right?
time and just do it, you know, just with you and like a phone or the laptop. But yeah, I've never tried it that way. Like I said, I don't tech wise. I
reason-
struggle with it.
The reason I started using StreamYard is because when you go live on a desktop, it won't let me bring people up on Facebook. So what happens is when I get in here, it says create a live, right? So then I can add up to like 3 locations. So then I click like Facebook and then YouTube, and I put a title, and I can put this banner up here. And then I think if you were on StreamYard, you could just come over. But see, I don't know how that works.
Well,
I
see,
gotta figure that out.
I was just using the browser because I just got my phone. I've never tried it on a laptop
Yeah.
before. But yeah, it showed like you select destination and invite friends, just copy the link, and I'm like, all right. And I say it's enter the studio, and I'm like, there I am, and I'm just like, there ain't nobody here. Where do I invite people? And so I'll learn that as I won't get discouraged. I'll learn that as I go, or talk to people that know more about it for sure.
What you mean on StreamYard?
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah, so-
it said I haven't like bought StreamYard yet. I just got like the free
No,
5 hours, so I haven't used
that's
it.
fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. But if you just go to when you go in there, right? You go into the studio thing. If you go to
Yeah.
invite, and that's how you click that, and you copy that link, and then you post it in the comments. That's how people will come up, like you
Okay.
did. Yeah, you just go to present, and then like how like I show videos. If you go to present,
Oh,
and then
so
it'll
it
just show
worked.
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so you just hit invite. So right now I hit invite and I hit copied, right? And then I go over here, I right click in the comments and I hit paste, right? And then there's the link. Should be coming up there soon. Yeah, that's it. You see the link now?
Oh shit, yeah, there it is. There's the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it right under Will Anderson and Deborah Robbins. She seems pretty
Yeah.
cool. Join the chat. Oh, all right, there we go. Well, it says connect to YouTube. I don't know if I want to do that or if I'll lose you.
No. See, I'm streaming on both platforms. That's why.
Okay.
But no, that free one's fine. The reason I upgraded because I went through all the minutes. Because if I
It
was
probably
doing
works-
2 hour streams, you're
it
like
probably works
20 minutes
better.
a month.
Oh
20
yeah,
hours,
yeah.
20
Yeah,
hours
I
a month.
definitely-
So
I liked
like
it, so
10
I'll probably
days.
be using it more often. For sure.
Yeah, I think if you're, it's like a third party. And this, when my nephew built this computer, he downloaded OBS, but it's like so much more complicated than StreamYard. Like you got to extend the thing and blah 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 blah. I was like, bro, I'm not doing all that shit. It's too complicated. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here, man. But dude, anytime you're willing and want to come, man, I appreciate you, man. For real, I think we work good together. I love to have someone else's opinion up here. I love to have someone else's thing, whatever. And hopefully you coming up here and talking will encourage more people. Staying true to who you are. I never want you to come up here or anybody and be fake, dude. I just let it all out, man, or don't talk about it at all. Just be your true self. That's what this is about. And whatever
I
you
promise
believe
you
in,
I
is
do
what
that.
you believe in, man.
Yeah.
We're not here to discriminate anybody or show judgment. We have our opinions like anybody
It's
else.
true.
And we believe in God, and we're not going to worry. We're not going to steer away from that. I'm not going to not be who I am because someone else might not believe in him. That's for you, and this is for me. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not
Well, I
into people
appreciate you,
pleasing
bro.
anymore. But
No,
yeah,
man, I mean,
Travis.
The right people will come, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't look at them numbers and shit. I know. I've been there, bro. I know exactly where I'm. It still bothers me. And Facebook's gonna fuck with you, man. Facebook.
Yeah.
One day your post might go. They fuck with me all the time. One day I'll have a post that goes 3,000 people. The next day it gets. I can post that same thing. The next day it'll get 10.
That's
You know what I mean? So-
algorithms. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
don't-
the more good you do, the more attacks you'll get. So that lets
Yeah.
you know that you're moving in the right direction. People tell me.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I ain't gonna steer away from who I am, but bro, I appreciate
Yeah.
you, man. We'll do this again.
Same. 100%.
Thanks for coming up here.
Absolutely.
Have a great day, everybody. I gotta get some shit done before I have to roll out. But maybe I'll come back live tonight. Are you gonna be around?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be here, man. Just get a hold of me.
I'll hit you up, dude, because like this shit's so good. It's so fun. It's I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know. You ever feel like you're where you're supposed to be?
Yeah. I'm
I get
feeling that
emotional
now,
thinking about
to
it.
be honest with you. I feel like
Get
a lot of the
emotional
stuff
thinking
that
about
I've
it, man, because
Yeah, Travis. I feel like everything I've gone through, not even in just the last year, but my whole life, has geared me up for these days. I couldn't be more grateful, and yeah, I love this.
just
It's
have this,
energizing. It's freeing. It's the best thing I've ever been a part of, and it just makes me love my sons more and my wife.
yeah,
Gotta have
how it's
it.
moving, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
getting
be around.
emotional. So I'm gonna end this.
Well,
wanna
you
read-
know, no, I don't
cried
want to
enough.
show that moment of weakness.
No, I
I'm
ain't
good.
worried about that. I got enough of this, but just when
It's
you're
just-
around, I don't know, man, and like just thinking about your story and how you used to act like how you used to, because when people talk, I listen, dude, and when you would say like, oh man, I had to do this to fit in, you know, and I understand why you did it, right? Because you don't want to be alone, right? And I understand why you kept changing who you were to just have that person in your life, right? And now I want you to be your true self. Don't do anything that just be you, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's what really moves me with you, man. Like you're just being you and authentic you. You don't have to be nothing for me, bro. You don't have to act like anything for anybody. And like when you talk and you stand on what you believe in, like I respect that shit, dude. I really do, man. And I know what you went through in your life. I know you had to like change who you were because you were scared of what the hell's the
Abandonment.
fucking word?
Abandonment.
Yeah, abandonment. That was what the conversation was about. So I don't want you to feel that way here, dude. Just be raw and real and stand up for what you believe in. I think you did that today, and I appreciate that. Even though O'Sullivan got mad, and O'Sullivan, I respect her, man. She's been around here since day one, and maybe she did the right thing by getting off before she got offended. But we're not here to offend nobody, man. We're not here to argue and fight. We're here.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody personally, so I can't offend you realistically if I don't know you personally. So it's just you're getting offended at who I am and what I'm saying. So you know what I mean? I didn't mean to jump in there, but yeah, anybody who's offended or thinking I'm judging, I don't know anybody. I haven't even seen anybody face to face, so I can't offend somebody that I don't know.
Yeah, it's just at the end of the day, it's what we believe in, or what
That's it.
and we might have different beliefs and other shit, but that's all it is, dude. And if we can't talk about this,
No, I'm
openly,
going
then
to.
what the hell are we doing, right?
I have to. I have to keep talking
Yeah,
about.
man, and I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you.
Anyway, man, I'll hit you up then. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful Sunday. Thanks,
Yep.
bro, man. I'll check you out.
Yep.
Be cool.
You too.